All right, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is before we get into it, this is a spoiler review for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right? So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. And I'm joined by my boy Aidil in Singapore. Bro, thanks for joining. I know you're into all the whole comic book scene. You're an artist, you're a jiu-jitsu artist.
Yeah,
You love your comic books. So I
yeah,
thought it'd be a great opportunity to get you on board to kind of talk about this movie and just give spoilers and whatnot. But before all of that,
yeah.
how's things? I know it's Saturday. We got training. You going training later on? You got MMA and BJJ no
Yeah,
gi
I
better.
I think so, but I'll see the mood, like, because
Well, normally
yeah,
do the 5 hours on a Saturday. I remember that I used to do like 2 hours in the morning and then go back in the evening
yeah,
for no gi jiu-jitsu, MMA,
yeah,
and wrestling, which is the worst freaking thing ever.
yeah. You finish off with the worst one, but I guess I'm taking a bit of a break, just to reset things a bit.
Okay, that's cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I guess I'm going later, but maybe just for like an hour or two. That's all.
Okay, okay. Don't
Yeah,
overstress too much
yeah,
the body and whatnot. That's
yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
have to be honest with you, bro. So now I'm part of my new gym. I have to be, and I think I've already expressed this before. Eddie's MMA and wrestling class is the best ever, honestly. But I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
happy I'm not training on a Saturday no more. Honestly, because my new gym, the schedule is like Monday to Friday. So I do it Monday to
Yeah,
Friday, right, during the weekday, and I have my
yeah,
Saturdays to do what I want. So normally on a Saturday morning, I'll just do a training, and then my evenings off. Evolve
yeah.
had the worst timing for MMA classes because Saturday 4 p.m. it just
Yeah.
kills your
End of the
day.
day.
I have to be
Yeah.
honest, man. It feels great not to have that training.
Yeah. You get things like done in the morning and then you get the rest
Yeah,
of the day off.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And also, I was speaking to my wife about this stuff because, like, I look forward to my weekends here a lot, right? And I was thinking, why?
Yeah.
Like, I had weekends in Singapore. Why am I so excited here? And I realized even my weekends on Singapore, I was still stressed about the MMA and wrestling class because I knew how hard it's gonna be. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I wake up
Yeah.
Saturday morning and I'm like, all right, I gotta eat, but not eat too much because otherwise I'm gonna be messed up for class. And I can't really go out and do anything because I gotta be back in time for class. And then I'm thinking the class is
Ah,
gonna be so hard and stressful, so I'm a bit of anxiety about that. And then so I
yeah.
should think like to myself, actually, my Saturdays were dead because it was just like thinking about the class and all the anxiety. And then you go there and it's the best session ever. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. It's still Eddie's one of
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
coaches I've ever come across. But then you get battered in class. You come back Saturday, like it's late night in the evening. And then but yeah, but here, because I get my training done Monday to Friday, it's like
Is your
Saturday.
Friday is Friday a working day there or like you have 4 days?
Yeah, no, it's a working day. They changed that just before I moved here, man. So it was,
Ah, sucks.
yeah, I know, yeah, but
I know.
it would have because otherwise Sunday would have been a working day, but they aligned more
Ah,
closely.
right. They just shifted one day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
guess, yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. So now I don't do like any MMA training on the weekends. I just do like the
All right,
fitness
right.
training or yoga or just chill with. Yeah, I really enjoy my weekend here. But if you go down there, man, tell the boys and Eddie I said hello and enjoy the
Yeah, if
session.
I'm going later. Because
Yeah, cool.
I just started a new job. I got a new job.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah, it's been all right, but I kind of need to get things into the groove. And maybe haven't been training that much, still going through some stuff. So I'll be there once in a while, just with people I know. But yeah, I'll see about later. I'm normally forced to go because my training partner asked me if I'm going, and I like if you ask me, I have to go, right? Like
Yeah,
I can't say
yeah.
no. Yeah.
But it's
So
good that you got that training
yeah,
partner. Like I used to have Daniel, so we used to communicate, and I used to be
yeah,
comfortable training with him, just to know that at least we're on a good pace. For me, he was
yeah,
bigger than me, but I guess I was a little bit more skilled. But it would just kind of even things up, and he had good control over his power, so I wouldn't
yeah,
get hurt too much. But it's good
yeah.
to have a
I got
training partner.
yeah, I got Izam who's older, so he goes a bit slower. So I can't go that much. Like I don't want to get hurt or anything. I'm not training for a fight. I'm just
Yeah,
training to like have fun and all that.
I'm
So
the same,
he
brother.
said, Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
And
getting too
we're
old.
both, yeah, we're both suffering from some injuries, so we kind of have that pace, so it's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I just, you know what
yeah,
it was?
yeah,
This week I was my first week back properly after Ramadan, and everything was going
yes,
well. And it's always jujitsu that gets me because yeah,
yes,
in my new gym, it's most a lot of wrestlers, right? A lot of it is wrestling based because you've got all the wrestlers from these regions, right? Kazakhstan,
yeah.
Dagestan, they're all there. So it's very
Oh
wrestling focused. So
man.
like, don't get me wrong, like the comparison with Singapore is like I think Singapore is a little bit more like the people are training in Singapore, a bit more technical. But
Yeah,
here, I'm not saying they're not technical, they are, but they have that wrestling brute force. So
yeah.
it's a bit different and
So
whatnot.
yeah, it's a we rarely get like wrestler backgrounds here, so I guess for you is more of that, like
Yeah,
from that region and
exactly. So I
it,
remember
yeah, even
my,
yeah.
my first jiu-jitsu class at my new gym, bro. I was just we were doing specific with a training partner, and he saw I was a purple belt. He was a purple belt. He was asking me how long I've trained for, and he was like, I asked him like how long you trained for. He's like, oh, 2 years. I was like, wow, you got your purple belt that quick. He goes, yeah, but to be honest, brother, I've been wrestling my whole life. I was like, ah, shit. And he was like, he goes like, do you know Dagestan? I'm like, of course I know Dagestan, like
Oh
Khabib. And
yeah,
so I'm like, you're telling me I'm about to
all the
roll with a
monsters.
Dagestani wrestler? This is crazy. I'm gonna get killed immediately. My confidence died. Like bigger guy,
Yeah,
Dagestani wrestler. But you know what?
you don't need, yeah,
You know
you don't
what?
even need a bigger guy, right? Like it's, even the smaller
Exactly.
guys and then
Yeah, I
wrestle
mean,
with bears and stuff.
I'm always stuck with the smaller, bigger guys anyway, because I'm always the smallest dude everywhere I go. But thank God
Right, right, all
they're
right.
you get your white belts as usual who spaz out and everything like that. But people are in control here, which is great. So I'm not getting especially by these wrestlers, these Dagestani wrestlers, they don't smash me for the sake of it because they're bigger, they got the skill set, they actually do
Yeah, yeah,
flow. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So it's actually
yeah. They have
really
the
good.
techniques.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's really good.
Yeah,
Cool, man. Well, look, bro, let's get into Guardians of the
yeah.
Galaxy, man. Let's do the
Let's
spoiler
go,
review
let's go.
again. People, if you haven't seen the movie, we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. But I definitely wanted to chat about this movie, and I'm glad you came on board to chat about it because you're the only one that I know of so far that's seen it. So I didn't ask you no questions because I didn't want to get a feel of how you felt.
Yeah.
So give us your thoughts, like your overall thoughts for this movie. Give it like a score out of 10, and then we'll dig into like the nitty gritty and whatnot. But what did you think
Uh,
overall?
I would say I wouldn't tell you how I think. I think I tell you how I feel about it. Because going into this, I'm like I'm not really at the best state of mind and emotion right now. So I'm going through some stuff. So going into it, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was like I mean it's not normally Guardians of the Galaxy is more like light-hearted and with humor and emotion, some emotions like they put it in here and there, but I mean most of the thing is like it's funny and all that. So I thought I could like get like I liven my spirits a bit. But I'm surprised it's more emotional than funny, I guess. But maybe it was just me. I was like, I connected with some of the themes like the friendship and all that and companionship. And that really gets me like really hard. And I didn't even find it that funny to be honest. The humor is there, but it's not that much, or maybe it wasn't really hitting the marks, but overall I really I wouldn't say I love it. I like it, and it was good for that moment when I really need it, I guess. So I can't really give a score because I guess it's just my personal opinion at the state of mind I was in, and yeah, I like it that way. It serves like at the correct time that I'm going through. So yeah, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's interesting that you say that, and it's so true, right? Based on and then I hope everything's okay from your side, and you don't have to, we don't have to talk about and get into that stuff. But like,
It's fine. It's just yeah, just you know, yeah. just something rocky going on, but and it's fine. It's just how my mind is when I'm going in.
Yeah, okay, but it's
Yeah,
interesting that you mentioned that because that can affect your experience with a
yeah,
movie
yeah,
or something, be it training, a movie, because the mental is so important to how how you kind of experience things or whatnot. But
yeah,
what you say is true though. It was very emotional. That's what I'm saying. Like when you said that maybe it was no, actually, that's my feeling too. It was very emotional, and it was
yeah,
for me. It was it was an origin story for Rocket, I would say, but then
yeah,
we really got to know each character's flaws and insecurities and what are they battling with at that moment. You know what I mean? And it was very
yeah.
emotional. It really had me almost teared up in a couple of scenes. I mean, you know,
Oh,
um,
I was
it's
hopeless in that one.
yeah, bro. So I
I
mean,
was like,
couple movies this year. Look, Black Panther got me in tears, and I think that's mostly because of Chadwick Boseman who passed away. That got
right,
me in tears. But this one, since I would say like Black Panther, and then maybe before that, maybe Spider-Man No Way Home. But Endgames was the worst one that got me in tears by that and Black Panther. But this one, out of all the movies
yeah,
that's come out through the Marvel series recently, had me emotional, man. I mean, it was very
yeah.
emotional. They had a few scenes in there again that we're going to spoil that we thought Rocket was going to die. We thought Star-Lord was going to die. Um, but
Uh,
that got me, it pulled my emotional string. So I agree with you that it was way more emotional than it was funny. I still enjoyed the humor, and that's what I liked about it. I thought, unlike Thor, Love and Thunder, which was just like,
really?
my opinion, it was
Okay.
that movie was stupidly it was stupid, right?
Yeah,
The humor was stupid more than it was just like, strategic humor, if that makes sense. Like it
yeah,
was
yeah, right.
so it wasn't, I don't think it was stupid humor. It had the good humor parts in it and whatnot.
Yeah,
But it really hit the emotional strings, this movie. So I genuinely liked it and I could go watch it. I was telling my brother on some of the podcasts that some of these Marvel movies these days, I can't watch them twice because I just feel bored.
yeah,
They don't
true.
have that same feeling, but this one I feel like I definitely could watch it again because of how emotional it was. And
Yeah,
we've built these relationships up with these characters since what,
yeah, yeah,
2014. So
yeah,
throughout those years, I think this was a great send off to some of these characters
yeah.
of this.
It's interesting when you compare. You said like Black Panther and all that. I guess the emotional part of it is kind of different in this one because it taps into your sort of common human feelings of friendship and companionship without even like knowing, because the other movies like you kind of have to know, you have to the background, the characters, your emotion is tied to what you think the story is, where the character is going through. But for this, it's more like personally you can feel it, like you connect to it because it's like, how do I say, it's not tied to the character exclusively. You're
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like, yeah, you kind of understand how the friendship works just by seeing how is it on the screen, and maybe the music helps a bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, James
yeah,
Gunn's
I
awesome with
think
the soundtracks and stuff. But
yeah,
it's a good
I
point.
yeah, I appreciate that this movie is like kind of, because lately is everything is have to tie into the bigger Marvel Phase 5 or 4 and all that. This one seems like standalone, and it's smaller scale. Everything is smaller. Like even the the bad guy, I find it more interesting because it's everything is not like universe ending or anything like that. And it's you scale back to this core emotions and characters, and you do a good job with it. And I think that's where Marvel really shines. And James Gunn did a good job with that.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate once in a while we get something like that amidst all this big Marvel the multiverse thing they're trying to put together.
Yeah, no, you know what? Yes, I agree with you, man. I think, what you said with this movie tapping into the friendships and the family aspect and whatnot. Like Black Panther maybe was a grieving sort of thing, but this one tapped into a different
Yeah,
different element of emotions and stuff like that. which I think is
Yeah.
definitely true. But yes, and also what you said about the multiverse, because when you make these Ant-Man Quantumanias and people didn't like it, because I personally enjoyed that movie. I watched it again the other day,
I
but people
Yeah,
didn't like it.
it's a fun popcorn
Yeah,
flick, I guess.
I think
Yeah.
exactly. Because people didn't like it because I think the expectations is, oh, Kang the Conqueror, big multiverse, it's got to be big. But I think, yeah, that puts big expectations on people, and people just don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
right? Because of that, because you're expecting something big all the time, and I think people just can't
Yeah.
appreciate that everything doesn't have to be that big, even if it does tie in. But I
Right,
think
right.
when it does tie in, there's an expectation. But yeah, this one, it was its own standalone about the Guardians, who,
Yeah.
and then and obviously, this was the last one that James Gunn's doing, and it's kind of like the
Yeah.
last Guardians of the Galaxy
I
movie.
wasn't even aware of it because I don't really watch trailers. I try to
You're
kind
good.
of avoid. So
You're good like
what
that. I
I
wish
know
I could
is,
have that, bro. I wish I could do that, but
but
you're
you
good.
can't, yeah. I know Adam Warlock is in it. I know it's something to do with Rocket, but that's all I know. I didn't even know maybe the villain. I kind of heard about it, but it wasn't such a big deal. But I didn't know it was the last one, like a send off. So when it was like at the end, right, like where everything is sort of wrapping up, and I'm like, I feel so bummed out.
Yes,
I
yes, yes,
see like
yes.
best friends breaking up, going here and then. That really hits me,
That had that sort of end game moment when end games, you follow these characters for 10 years, and then Iron Man dies, Cap gets
Yeah,
older, everyone kind of not, I guess, breaks up, but it had that sort of feeling because that's what we're feeling. We've known these characters for so long and everyone's going their separate ways. I mean, the good thing is that we know is like some of them are not going. So Star-Lord's going to be back. We see
yeah.
Rocket he's got his own crew, what the new Guardians of the Galaxy, who's got Adam Warlock's, Groot.
I saw that little girl is Phyla Vel. I guess I was
Yeah,
trying to think, and I saw the IMDb. What's her character name? And it just says Phyla. So I was thinking Phyla Vel, that uh, white haired girl with a
yeah, like the
sword, I guess.
cosmic power
Yeah,
and all that. So I'm not familiar with her, but
yeah.
yeah,
Because Cosmic Marvel is my favorite ones. Like anything to do with outside the Earth. I like Annihilation line, that one of my favorite ones. Actually, that's where I got introduced to this modern day Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, all the all the characters we see out in the space. It was introduced in this big cosmic
I
line.
see. Okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, I kind of familiar a bit with that in
Okay,
Thanos and all
awesome.
that. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so that's going to be the new Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And then Star-Lord's going to be back, but I think Drax is gone, Mantis is gone, Nebula, it
Yeah.
seems like they're gone. So that was emotional, and to just see them kind of split up that way. But I don't know if we're going to get any Guardians movies, but I think they're just going to show up in be it Cosmic Wars,
I
Avenger movies, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I hope Star-Lord is in I heard they're doing a Nova movie, or like a series. I don't know what's happening there, but I hope he kind of appears there. I guess he's
Yeah,
one of my favorite characters, Nova. So
yeah, I
I really
agree.
want
Oh,
to see
Nova,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
Well, I mean, Chris Pratt's just awesome. He plays Star-Lord so good. So I hope he does come back.
Yeah.
He is definitely coming back. So I'll be interested to see how he comes back and whatnot. At least with Rocket and Groot, they're animated characters. So, we don't have to worry too much about Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper getting too old. They could just do the voices. I mean, with Rocket. So for me, this movie was a almost like a origin story of Rocket, right? And this movie got me
Yeah, he's
freaking
almost the main
emotional.
character.
Yeah, this movie got
Yeah.
me freaking emotional about a raccoon, right? Because it took us through the childhood
Yeah.
traumas that a raccoon went through, which I can't believe they got me emotional about a freaking raccoon, but they did. They done a great
A
job about
raccoon
that.
and an otter, like
Yeah, like
that's
I
that's
genuinely
a love
felt
story.
emotional. And I
Yeah,
came out, I was like, this was a trauma, like the trauma that this raccoon went through kind of explains the
yeah.
anger and the bullshit that he gave us throughout this whole time,
Right,
for
right,
getting to
right.
know him. But yeah, I think like we're gonna see a lot more now. like it's so crazy, bro. I'm so invested in a raccoon. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like one of my favorite characters. I can't wait to see more of Rocket Raccoon after this movie because they gave me the backstory. I felt very emotionally attached to him. When I thought he was gonna die, like it hit the emotional strings, and I'm like, this is a fucking raccoon I'm crying about, bro. So I'm
It's not
happy that
even real.
yeah, exactly. So I'm happy to see that we're going to see more of him. He's the new, Guardians of the Galaxy captain, and he definitely deserves it after this, man, because I feel
Yeah.
like his purpose was great, and it just, oh man, it was just emotionally hitting.
Yeah. I guess I want to talk about the villain. Um, Wait, what's his name? High Evolutionary,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it ties to the raccoons and all that. In a way, he's the most cruel one, like because he hurts animals. Like I don't know why it's even more evil if you do that. Like I guess he's not evil. He's more cruel. He's not like Thanos, who's like a maniac or whatever. You can kind of agree with Thanos for a bit, but you can't agree with this guy who's torturing small little animals, and that's where people draw the line, like
Do you know what it is,
like
bro? Yeah. It's like, okay, this is my thoughts, right? Because the animals are cute, right? They're babies, they're
yeah,
cute. But you can't do it to a
yeah,
human baby or child. Even though in this movie he was experimenting with child, but you can't show that on
yeah,
the screen, right? So when it's an
yeah,
adult, it's almost like, oh, that's gruesome, but it's an adult human. But if
yeah,
it
and
was a
nobody
baby,
cares.
if it was babies, you'd be like, what the fuck? So because it's
Yeah,
animals and doing it to baby animals and they're so cute, I think this
yeah,
it hits something, right? Um,
I know.
but
Like
I
even in
agree. This villain he
yeah,
was a bastard because like, he was trying to play God and he just had no remorse for the, for his experiments, I guess, of trying to create the
yeah,
perfect race. But I think ultimately it tied into kind of like the plot of the movie where it's like nobody's perfect and you have to accept people for who
yeah,
they are.
right, right,
And he was just trying
right.
to create this perfect being sort of thing.
Yeah. And the others, I love that they actually talk about how they feel about each other, the Guardians. So it's like they know they have flaws and they accept each other in that way. So everyone's not perfect, right? And this guy is trying to make the perfect uh beings and society, and if not, he just resets everything without any emotion or like care for it. So yeah, it's a good villain to tie into the overall theme of the movie. And I think they had a great actor for that. He's just he's chewing up the scene and going overboard. And yeah, he's from Peacemaker, right? That show.
Mm.
Where is it? Peacemaker? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, you're the same actor from there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I love that all the cameos are from the people from James Gunn's
Because
Peacemaker and
his
Suicide Squad
did
and
you
all that.
notice his wife was in it as well again as the
Yeah,
yeah.
the in that disgusting skin
Yeah.
organic base. And
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion is I think he's in a lot of James Gunn's movies, so it's good to see him like have a bigger role in this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that the red girl, I don't know what's the name of the one in Suicide Squad, the girl who
Who
controls the
controls the
rats.
rat? Yeah, yeah, I can't remember her name
She
as well.
was yeah, she was that the purple skin girl who they kind of take hostage and
Oh
did
shit, I
the
didn't
complete
recognize
of
that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is what like
But it's
it's
nice that
just good
James
to see
Gunn
them.
has his own little crew, I guess, that he always kind of hooks up. It's nice to have that, because you get familiar
Yeah,
with those
yeah.
characters. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think the villain fit in well perfectly with the overall theme of the
Mm,
movie of just accepting yourself, and there is no perfection in anything, right? As you as a person, like obviously we're always trying to get better. I was talking about
yeah.
this during Ramadan to my brother and some friends, like during Ramadan, I always try to be better. Like Ramadan's not just about fasting and whatnot, which is the main stuff, but it's
Right.
about trying to work on some of your imperfections, right? Because we're not perfect. And
Yeah.
you try and work on those during the month, but also outside of the month as well. But this movie fits in perfect with that because they're not perfect, nobody's perfect, and you got to accept each other's imperfections and work with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that last part that got me, the one part that hit me a lot, and I think fathers will get hit a lot. I'm not a father yet, but maybe one day. But when they were, when they were kind of saying their goodbyes, and each of them were just saying something. But Nebula said something to Drax that really got me when she was like, "You were not born to be a Drax, a
Yeah.
destroyer. You were born to be a father," and that hit me so hard because, like, the trauma that he's been going through from the first time we met him. His daughter being killed by Thanos, and always it was never really expressed. But this one, he was the one that was able to kind of calm down the kids and play with the kids and
Yeah.
whatnot. And
Right.
then she said that really hit me emotionally. And I'm like Drax has been going through this trauma this whole time. He's always said it, but we've never seen it. But he's the only
Yeah.
character that's actually loved himself, as Fing was saying as well. But that one
Ah,
hit really hard. Like when she said that, I was like, man, that's tough. So I can imagine my older brother being a father, and he's just about to be father number 2 because the baby's due any second. He's gonna get hit, man.
right.
So
Congrats.
yeah. So I know he's gonna be hit emotionally when he hears that line, and be
Man.
connected to Drax in that way.
I'm feeling emotional right now. Uh, yeah, because it's like when they were saying like Drax is dumb and all that. It was like, and then immediately he has a purpose in that movie. Like, I like they give everyone something, like a bit of a send off, I guess, like something extra to give that character something to say goodbye to. So I like that they highlight the fact that he was a father who lost a child and all that. So he could communicate with the kids like in a dumb way. It was a funny scene, but it's like it's endearing to see something like that.
Yeah,
Like, and then you understand Drax's character before we say goodbye permanently to him. Like,
100%.
okay, yeah, he's everything he did, it was actually for his family and his daughter. So yeah, it's good to be reminded of that again before the movie ends.
Definitely. I mean, you're right.
Yeah,
Each character, all of them that were the original Guardians that we love, all had a purpose
yeah,
and all sent us off with like them kind of almost like fulfilling their purpose. I mean, if you
yeah,
think
right,
about it, like you just made me think like if Drax didn't have that moment with the kids, yes, it'll be still sad to see Drax go, but that
yeah,
scene with the kids kind of like,
yeah,
finalized Drax's character, like just gave us that final piece of him. It's like, oh, he lost his daughter, but now he almost like he getting these children back in a certain way.
mm,
He was able to help these children where these other characters couldn't communicate with them or
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
Um,
right,
and each of them had their own purpose. Rocket, being, I guess, coming back, and his purpose, I guess, being the leader of the new Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. So yeah, no, I thought that was one of the emotional scenes that hit me when they said that about Drax. And Batista's a fucking good actor, man. He's
yeah.
really good,
Who would have
man.
thought, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so good. I mean, not just from this movie, I've seen it. I think after I watched what's the M. Night Shyamalan one? The Cabin, in the cab what's it called? The last one he did something about
Uh,
cabin, I can't remember. But the M. Night Shyamalan movie, I can't remember the name of the movie. But he was really
oh
good in
man,
that. But
which was it? Uh,
let me just
which
Google
was
it.
it?
Let
I'm
me Google
trying
it.
to remember. Did I watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie recently?
The
I know
cabin
I
in the
did.
woods. The cabin. No, that's not the one. That's not the one.
Uh, did I watch that?
It was a new
Ah,
one. Let me just Google it real quick. Because that's when I was
I
like,
knew I would.
knock at the cabin, knock at the cabin.
Oh, all right. I didn't watch that, I
So
guess.
when I watched
Yeah.
that, I mean, I always knew he was a good actor. I always thought he was good as Drax, even though people were like, he's just a dumb big brute, like brute guy. I always thought he was
Yeah, I
good in
mean,
that. But after I watched Knock in the Cabin, I realized how much of a good actor he is. But after seeing this,
yeah,
it elevated my respect of him as an actor because he does it so well. He's not just this
right.
big dumb brute character who just does say dumb things, because he's funny,
Hmm.
he says dumb things, but then the emotions he showed, like when when he separated from when what's her name, Mantis was leaving, like you
Yeah,
could see the emotions in his eyes, man. It's freaking,
yeah,
you know, like he was heartbroken that she
yeah.
was leaving.
It's there. Like he was surprised. I'm surprised she was leaving them. Like I would thought she's one of the ones that would stay, but I guess it makes sense that she wants to like explore everything outside of because she's still like she doesn't have her own thing like so far, right? So I'm talking like she's a real person, but I guess that's how they present it, and
Yeah,
I really felt it like yeah, like oh, okay, yeah, everything she's done is to serve a higher purpose with the group and all that, but she has never done anything to serve herself. So I'm glad they have something to like, you know, you can imagine she would like explore on her own, doing her own thing
exactly.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
again, that's her. I was her character flaw, right? She never, I guess, never got a chance to experience life because the way she was born
Yeah.
and the way she was almost like a slave to ego. And then, you know, then she found the guardians and whatnot who she loved and they loved her. But again, she never had her purpose. So it kind of like
Mm.
expressed that and allowed her to go on her way. And you know, the relationship she has with Drax, you know, I feel like it was almost like a father-daughter sort of relationship a little bit because he felt like he had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
protect her. And even though,
Yeah.
you know, they would like kind of like like cuss each other and whatnot and play jokes with each other. I felt like it was almost like a father-daughter relationship. But when she left, you could see the emotion in Drax's eyes. And I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Batista's a good freaking actor.
Uh,
The one
yeah.
scene that cracked me up, like really laugh out loud, was when she, you know, when they were breaking into that organism thing, and the
Yeah.
security guard, she said to the security guard, "You're madly in love with him," and she pointed at Drax. That part killed me, man. It was so funny because, like, again, I think it's Batista's acting, but he looked so awkward in that scene. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was like, they done
And,
that so
and
well.
the funny thing about it is, oh, that's not the first time they did that. Like it seems to be a running joke among them, those two,
Mm,
doing this thing to distract a guard or something like that. So it
yeah,
was funny when he was like, oh, here we go again, and he's like
yeah,
just playing the role, and yeah, he's a good actor. He's just it's not a simple thing to do, right? You
yeah.
bring humor to it, and you see his face kind of like, oh yeah, sure. It's stupidly funny, yeah.
That was the one. I mean, like the film had jokes in it, which was, and I think James Gunn style, which is always fun. But that scene really killed me.
Yeah.
With the thing. I mean, look, I'm just trying to like go through the movie now and just think about some of the movie scenes and whatnot. I still think with Rocket Raccoon, like I said, I think it was an origin story of him. We finally got to see
Yeah.
how he was created. Like it started off right with the Guardians of the Galaxy getting attacked by Adam Warlock, which was awesome as well. We should get into talking about him.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Yeah.
Raccoon, during that fight scene, Rocket Raccoon gets injured. They try to operate on him and they find out that he's got like some sort of self-destruct mechanism or whatnot that
Yeah.
the creator, what was his name? Who's the villain? What was his name again? The
High
high
evolutionary.
evolutionary put in
I
him and
they didn't
whatnot.
even say that much. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was where the movie started, and then with the introduction of Adam Warlock, because I was telling the missus like the original Infinity Wars and whatnot, he was like the one who put
Yeah.
the army against together against Thanos. Like he was
Yeah.
telling Hulk and Wolverine like if you have an opportunity to kill him, kill him. Like, do you remember those comics? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and obviously this, you know, I think the movie's obviously going to develop him because he's still a kid in this. But I did think he was great. Like I thought, I don't think I was like completely wow with him, but I was like, okay, I get it. He's a kid. You're trying to build him up, so
Yeah.
I accept that because I expected this higher being, like this
I
cosmic.
know it's like especially when they build him up like at the end of the first movie of the after credits, and like oh we thought he's gonna be in Infinity War like and Endgame and all that, but he's not, and it feels like they need him to be in this just to wrap up James Gunn's is it trilogy? There's three movies, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I, it's like almost like a kind of a shoehorn in. He's I think he's underutilized. I guess I understand he's still a kid who's developing, he's basically a baby, like a few years old. And I think they don't really use him that much. And he's always knocked out for some reason that he shows up and get knocked out. Like
Yeah,
uh I, to me, if he's not in the movie, it doesn't really have much difference if he's not there. Like, but I want to see more of him. I'm not disappointed in the character or anything. It's just like, uh, like you know what he did in the last part where he saved uh Peter Quill and Star-Lord to get into the ship. I hope I was wishing he did something more before that, like slowly build him up to that point instead of being unconscious somewhere at the background. He could have
yeah.
helped the kids or something like that. Like,
Well, I think
yeah, it
they
could.
started showing a little bit of his soft side when he took that animal as a pet because that animal was
Yeah,
cute.
yeah,
Like, so I think they started showing a little
yeah,
because like I agree with you. Like, if okay, so I went in with the expectations of I'm gonna see Adam Warlock, that cosmic power that I've seen read in the comics, right? So
yeah,
if I fully expected him, to be honest, right? I'm not gonna say I was disappointed because I just accepted what they're trying to do. But
yeah,
if I
yeah,
just wanted that Adam Warlock, then I definitely would have been disappointed. But I accepted what they're trying to do, and he wasn't in the movie much, but I feel like okay. You gave me a little bit of him. I understand that he's still growing, and I think his purpose in the movie was like almost like okay, yes, he attacked them and whatnot, but he was just misguided in a sense. But he throughout the movie showed that he I guess you could say he's a good guy. He's got good values, right? But he's a
yeah,
kid, so he's
right,
understanding them, right? So you first start seeing that when with the animal, and then you're like, oh, okay, so
yeah,
I can see that he's turning and he's not going to be manipulated by his mother or whatnot. Um,
yeah,
and by the end, Groot was the one that showed him that everyone deserves a second chance.
yeah,
When he was trying. So,
right.
and then he made that appear. I guess he's the one he saved Star-Lord at the end when we thought Star-Lord was gonna die. Um,
Oh, do
so
you really think he was gonna die? Like,
oh no,
I
I think
mean,
they teased a lot. I
I
think if I'm gonna give you one negative thing, I feel like they
yeah,
teased a lot of deaths. Like I think if they gave a death, that would have really just hurt me, right? Be it Star-Lord or Raccoon or something. But they teased a lot of it. But they didn't really
I,
give us a death.
yeah, yeah. I kind of heard they wanted. I mean, this is the information after I watched the movie. I kind of heard, ah, they were actually planning to kill a character or something. I didn't know about that. So when they were like, there was like near death scene, I didn't really think they would make anyone dead or anything like that. I, maybe Star-Lord. I was thinking, but it was such a gruesome ending. It's like face bloated and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Can't
think
kill
he's
him
gonna
like
die here.
that.
It's not. It's
I
yeah. They
thought,
wouldn't do him dirty like that.
yeah, I thought it would have been Drax just because I knew Batista wasn't coming back. So
All right.
I thought they were gonna just kill him off, but I'm glad they didn't. I'm so glad they didn't because like he's gonna
Yeah.
be the father for those kids and the entertainer for those kids. But but going back to Adam Warlock, I do think he looked awesome though, and I love the way he used his
All
powers. And I'm like,
right.
all right, you're seeing this powerful being who potentially will be very powerful, and he's going to be a part of the new Guardians of the Galaxy team. And I think there's going to be a lot more involved with him. I mean, it's a little bit of a shame that he's not involved in the Infinity War Thanos story because that's where I
Yeah.
know him from, you know what I mean? And he should have like an
Yeah.
Infinity Stone in his head and whatnot.
Yeah.
Rather
That
than yeah, rather than
Soul Stone.
Vision and whatnot. I feel like it should have been him. But anyway, look, we got to accept the change. But I would have rather seen him in what do you call it? Endgame. Like I always envision. Remember Endgame? Remember that scene where Captain Marvel comes at the end? To me, if
Yeah.
that was Adam Warlock, I would have been like, holy shit. But then it just wouldn't have
Yeah.
made too much sense because they didn't
Like
build up
who
anything.
is this
Yeah,
guy?
they
Yeah.
wouldn't have built it up. So anyway, I mean, it's a shame we don't get that then, but I feel like there's a lot of potential with him. And whatever they
Yeah.
do with the story, maybe they could. There's no reasons why they can't bring back Infinity Stones. They're still cosmic, powerful, stones and whatnot. Um,
Oh,
so let's see what
yeah,
they
I don't know
do.
whether I even want that.
Okay, then. Well,
Uh,
let's see what they do with him.
yeah, because I know the big thing going forward is the multiverse thing and the secret invasion, secret wars. Um, with the battle world. I have the comic. It's kind of confusing, I guess, for that. So I don't know whether he's gonna play a part in that. It seems like if he won't, like I don't see him fitting into that overall story with the multiverse.
Me
So
too. Yeah.
it might be the last of him we see. Maybe I don't know, but
Nah, I think he'll be back. But I
is it?
agree. I don't see because I don't right now. I don't see Guardians fitting into the multiverse story anywhere, really. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
So there's still going to be way more cosmic battles, man. We still haven't even seen Galactus yet. Silver Surfer. I know
right.
they don't intertwine too much, but there's still all
Yeah,
that
because
cosmic world.
Fantastic Four is coming, X-Men is coming.
Yeah,
Maybe that will
exactly.
be after. Uh, will it? Hmm. Fantastic Four plays a huge part in the multiverse thing that they're doing.
Hmm.
I don't know how it works. I hope so. I don't know how they're planning on this, but yeah, I'm just glad we have something smaller to watch like this movie where
Hmm.
you don't even think about everything else. You know, like it's
Yeah,
just this movie. The characters from other movies, it doesn't really matter, or you don't even see them. What you see. Even I think someone fresh going in could connect to this movie. Like they kind of understand who's who. I mean, maybe not the background, but they understand the relationship between all these people. So I think that's a testament to this movie. It's not
yeah.
perfect movie, but to me, it's a good one. It's for I don't know. It's kind of you can't really rank it among the rest. It has its own thing, you know.
Agreed, yeah,
Yeah,
agreed. But I mean, I
yeah,
agree. Not at one moment, and even until you just mentioned it, I didn't even think that, oh, I wish they connected it or someone should have been in it, like some of the
yeah.
other Avengers or
Right.
whatnot. I at one moment I didn't even think about that. So that's what I
Yeah,
agree with you as well. It's like it was his own movie. It didn't need to connect with anything else.
yeah,
And I'm happy that
yeah,
it didn't. I mean, the other characters in it, I mean, Nebula, I mean, we got a good evolution of her. And also, if you saw the Christmas special, she had
yeah,
Bucky's vibranium arm, and then we saw that
yeah.
obviously that was a part of her new technology and whatnot, which I thought was pretty awesome. I
Oh,
want to see
right.
the background of how he got that arm because Bucky's obviously
Oh,
armless somewhere,
it,
but
was
her
it
arm,
his arm or she used that as the arm, right? I
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Because
think they
did you watch?
mentioned rocket.
Yeah, did
Yeah,
you
I
watch the
watched it.
Christmas special?
Yeah, but I forgot about the arm. I guess that's a gift. And
Yeah,
I think they mentioned rocket helped develop that arm or something,
she
right?
told Gamora I've had some new updates by
Yeah,
Rocket and whatnot. But it all clicked back to the
yeah.
arm that she got, the present that she got in the Guardians of the Galaxy
Right,
holiday
right, right.
special. So
Yeah.
the only part missing of that little story is like, how did Rocket get that from Bucky? So I hope we find out later. But that was pretty
It's
awesome.
the yeah. It's that funny joke where he gets people's limbs for no reason at all.
Mhm. Which is hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
yeah,
with Nebula, also that upgrade was a positive upgrade apart, like because Thanos upgraded her out of hate, out of this destruction, out of like making her
yeah,
look hideous, all this sort of stuff.
yeah,
This was an upgrade that Rocket, who she loves and they all love as well, gave
yeah,
her, which was out of love, which was out of evolution,
yeah. It's a
it
gift
evolved
to
her.
them.
It is a
Yeah,
gift. It evolved her rather than what Thanos did, which was to fucking demoralize her and fuck her up,
yeah.
really.
But that funny line about the eyes being black,
Oh,
like
that
yeah, that one cracks me up. Like
was
because
hilarious. Yeah.
I think that was in the trailers. If I heard about it after they said, oh, it was funny, but it was in a trailer, and like, oh, then you guys, those who watch that, like maybe it's a clip or something. I mean, it's more funnier to watch it like at the first time in the theaters,
Yes,
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that cracks me up about it's
That was yeah,
like
that was hilarious because they had that little
yeah when
moment
he
between
looks
Star-Lord and
yeah when he looks over and she's like don't even think about it.
that was hilarious. I mean,
Yeah,
she evolved so much as a character. I mean, obviously, again in the
yeah,
comics, she was like the biggest part of the Infinity War
right,
and comics and everything. But
yeah,
I think she evolved a lot. For her whole life, she was had this almost this rivalry against Gamora, her sister, but then her father was the one that created that rivalry, and her
yeah,
father again just trauma, but of father trauma, right? That she
yeah.
went through, but again she found this family that she can.
Yeah, and the roles kind of switch between her and Gamora, right? Like Gamora now is that angry outsider who can't connect with everybody else, and she's the one who's trying to bring her in, or at least trying to make her understand. So I like this kind of switch that roles a bit, and she's
Yeah,
the caring one now.
yeah, exactly.
Eh,
But I love
uh,
what they did with Gamora as well. Going to Gamora, I like what they did with it because
yeah,
obviously it's the Gamora from 2011's Guardians of the Galaxy, like just before that, right?
yeah,
And through the evolution of this movie, she was still like, I don't know you people and whatnot, but you saw
yeah,
that she could eventually become the Gamora that we got to
right,
know, the loving one or whatnot.
yeah, yeah.
But they
Eh,
showed that in this because like she saw the love that they
yeah.
had for each other.
I like they didn't do the easy thing and make Star-Lord and her end up together at last.
Yes,
That
yeah,
would
yeah,
have
yeah.
been kind of it's you can do that, but it's too easy. So this
Mm,
one you kind of uh show her inner personality. So no matter what dimension or timeline she is, she's still inside. There's still that same Gamora that we know.
yeah.
So that's a showcase of that character, and it's a nice goodbye between them two. Like I wish I bet we were fun together. Is that the line or something?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like everything is like you can connect to that, like memories of maybe past relationships and all that.
Mm,
And that really hits me hard. I mean, not in a sad way. It's a happy it reminds you of happier times and more fun times among like friends or anyone you have a relationship with. So that
exactly.
just one small little line is perfect for that.
Definitely. And I think it gave
Yeah,
Star-Lord that what he needed. He needed that he needed to let go, but he just needed
yeah,
that reassurance that, because
yeah,
he knew that this Gomorrah's out there and that's what was
yeah,
killing him, right? Because that was
yeah,
hilarious. But that was his thing because he was drinking from the very beginning, this guy's drinking. And we
yeah,
saw in the holiday special as well that he felt very depressed and everything as well. But
yeah,
he was going through, the grievance of losing her, the one woman that I guess he really loved and everything. But I think by the end of that movie, I think for him, one seeing that, oh,
yeah.
this could be the
That's all he
Gomorrah.
needed.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
also for her to acknowledge that, okay, I guess we could have been fun together. That he just needed that send off, that finish to be like, all
yeah,
right, I'm ready to move on now. And then even
yeah.
going back
Oh
to
my
Earth
God.
and moving his family was actually amazing because I genuinely want to see how he interacts with his human family because he's human, but he grown up in the cosmic
Yeah,
world. So it's going to be interesting for him as well.
yeah, and he's eating cereal and talking about mowing the lawn. So
Yeah.
I didn't really catch that, but it's kind of dumb, but it's a funny
I'll be
thing. Like
interested
I
to
mean,
see where he gets involved more. Like he's gonna come back. Like, because right now I don't see again I don't see them fitting into the multiverse storyline, but maybe they do. It's cool. I just don't see them where they're gonna come back.
oh
So I'll be
yeah.
interested to see
I
how
mean,
they come back.
if you read the comics, that battle world, there is one cool one, but one scene I don't think they're gonna do it is if you the comics is like this is just a side note. The comics is like um Game of Thrones level of epic battle against kingdoms and all that shit. Oh, sorry, can I say
Yeah,
that?
you can swear, man. I
And
swear all the time, so go for it. Yeah.
all right, so that's just one small scene where uh Star-Lord was having this toothpick in his mouth. So they were like, what's up with the toothpick and all that? So in the final battle, he jams this toothpick in this giant tree in the middle of the kingdom or something, and that transformed into a huge giant Groot. And Groot was actually that toothpick. Somehow he
Oh,
kind of pierced
okay.
it, and it's a crazy movie if they eventually do it, but I don't think they're gonna do it that way. I don't know, but yeah, they could fit in something like that. But that's like a few years, like I don't know, future.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean,
I don't know whether.
they've left it open, but
Yeah,
like I said, they've left it in a way where I can't wait to see them again. Like, do you know what I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say? I was trying to make this comparison the other day after I watched it to my wife, and she's interested in listening, but she doesn't give me no feedback. Right? But I was telling her
she,
the difference between this and say Ant-Man Quantumania, which I still enjoyed, but that was
yeah,
the third Ant-Man movie. If, for example, Scott Lang died in that movie, I feel sad, but I would be like, okay, he's dead.
yeah,
Let's move on. I don't have
right,
that
yeah,
connection with him yet, right? I don't know that.
yeah,
I still don't think they built that emotional connection with Scott Lang yet. I don't have that yet.
yeah,
So
right,
that's the difference between the three. Like if with these guys, if when they were gonna die, I felt very emotional. Like I said, I got emotional about Rocket Raccoon. But in that sense, what I'm saying is like I'm so excited for them to come back. This is what Marvel was good at in phase 1, 2, and 3. That building that
right,
character relationship so good that you're like, oh, I can't wait for them to come back.
yeah,
I think they've
yeah,
lost that a little bit, like because this took me back.
yeah,
This movie for me felt like Marvel's 1, 2, and 3 phase, where you're like they're building up the characters.
yeah,
It's so awesome. I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to see them back because I would love to see, even with Adam Warlock. I know he was in it for a little bit, but I would love to see him and Captain Marvel duke it out a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I love to
right,
see Rocket
yeah,
Raccoon come back to Earth and communicate with Scott Lang or one of the Avengers who he did or Thor or whatnot because they had that in
yeah.
Endgames. Same with Groot. The Groot is evolving in some different way because he looks beastie at the end
Yeah,
of that
he's like
movie.
he's kind of yoked and yeah, we don't see the thin, tall Groot anymore. We see that hulking beast. Like he's almost like Hulk size, I guess.
Yeah, he was
He's
massive.
so
It's
huge.
again,
Yeah.
he didn't look like the Guardians of the Galaxy one Groot that we got, which was the tall, skinny one.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because maybe I don't know, but maybe Groot evolves based on his relationships or something. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
got anything to do
I
with
know.
it.
Yeah. Do you like his last line when it's just Vin Diesel talking?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, again, you could show the evolution of the love. I guess you could say like the evolution of the love that Groot has had for this family that he's built has, I
Yeah.
guess, taught him the words "I love you" rather than saying "I am Groot." So maybe that's
Yeah.
an evolution of that. But I think if he just said "I am Groot," it would have finished it
Yeah.
nice. He didn't have to
It
say "I
it
love
kind
you
of,
guys." Because
right.
we know we don't understand Groot, but if he said "I am Groot," I think we all would understand that he's saying "I love
Yeah,
you"
yeah,
anyway.
that's the
Yeah,
thing. It's something I would change because when he said that, it immediately takes me like out of the movie a bit because all I'm hearing is Vin Diesel
it
saying that
takes you to
to
Fast
like
and
the,
Furious, bro,
yeah,
because
with
that
his
movie is all
family
about
and
family.
yeah. I was like, oh man, it's I wouldn't I know what they're trying to do, but like you said, if he said we are Groot or I am Groot, immediately you know what he's saying, right? And you can tell by the other characters, they can play it up, and that would have been perfect. But I'm fine with it. It's just like for that one moment, I was like, whoa, I
Yeah,
did.
don't
Oh,
I don't
same.
I wouldn't want him to talk. Like I like we love
Yeah,
him saying "I am Groot," and that's all we need. So if you
yeah,
put that
yeah,
in there, there's a little expectations of like, well, can he say other stuff?
yeah.
And I don't
Right.
want that. I don't want that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's it's the last line of it's a I mean they wanted to give him just something to send him off to, but yeah, we don't need that. But yeah, I don't think we needed that.
No, we did. I mean,
Yeah,
again, the good thing about Groot and Rocket, they're animated characters, so we'll get them back.
yeah,
I think we'll get them back anytime we need them and
yeah,
whatnot. Um,
yeah. Do you do you like the F bomb they dropped in the
that was bad.
it's
Yeah, there was no need for that. That was, yeah,
but
unnecessary. Yeah.
it was funny. I was cracking up like because I think PG movies they are allowed one F bomb. I think that's the rule or something like that. So in movies you can spot where they put it in. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that but that line was it was funny to me. I know some people don't like it, but oh man, that's like oh that's a perfect one for that
It
to
was
put it
funny.
there.
Don't get me wrong. It was funny. It fitted in well because she couldn't open the door and all that sort of stuff. And those old school doors,
Yeah,
remember, you have to press the button
yeah,
and
you have to
whatnot.
push it in and
I
then
just
pull
feel
it.
like
Yeah.
because I obviously you don't watch trailers and anything, so I read something about Marvel's first F bomb and whatnot, and so
Ah,
they
okay.
made a thing out of it, and I was like, all right, whatever, like, but
Ah, right. So you
like,
could like
yeah.
yeah.
So when he said it, I was like, well, you did okay, he said it, but really, he didn't have to say it.
You
Do you know
don't
what I'm
need
trying to
to
say?
sit. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't really
But
have.
I didn't know about it. So it was when he just dropped it there, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I think
like,
like I don't like what Hollywood and that's trying to do with that stuff. Because if I had a child who's watched all the Guardians of the Galaxy, I wouldn't want them to.
yeah, this
Don't get me wrong, though. Every kid's gonna learn those words anyway, right? That's just
yeah,
reality of the world, right? They're gonna
yeah,
learn those
yeah.
words. But I just wouldn't want them in a Marvel movie in a thing to be like, being in like, Star-Lord said it, so why can't I? Do you know what I mean? I just don't want that,
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't have
But
kids, but
yeah,
if I did,
is that the first in a Marvel movie?
I
I don't recall
believe
hearing it in any other movies.
I
Maybe
believe
the TV
so.
show. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, is it?
I think so because I think they made a thing out of it saying that this is Marvel's first F bomb and whatnot.
Right, right.
Which again is stupid. Like, don't announce it. Just if you're gonna pull it in there, just do
Yeah,
it. Don't make a thing. It's like even with Eternals, they made a big thing out of Marvel's first like gay kiss scene and whatnot. I'm like, just
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
trying to
Just
just pull
play.
it in there. Don't
Yeah,
make a thing out of it. Like make it
yeah,
because if you make a thing out of it, then you're forcing it. Don't force it. Just
yeah,
put these
yeah.
things naturally into the story. And if you pull it naturally
Right.
in, I'm gonna accept it. But if you force it, then you're gonna push me away and say, well, why are you forcing this shit in there? Just pull
Yeah,
it in naturally.
like The Last of Us. Did you watch that?
Yeah. Brilliant
That
show.
the yeah, the relationship between the two male characters.
Mm,
That was like that was perfect. Nobody. It doesn't feel forced. It
mm.
doesn't feel like even I guess people who don't agree with it, they can feel something about it, because it's just two people in love, and that's the perfect way to do it, I guess. Like
It does, yeah,
you
I
you, you
agree.
you don't make a big deal of it. Yeah, you will let it play out and see what people feel about it before you try to give them a sort of
Heads
something to.
up type of thing.
Yeah. Don't give them any ideas or information before they go into it, and then they already have an idea of what to expect. I guess that's
Exactly.
the good thing about.
I
Oh yeah,
agree.
we are talking about the F bombs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
but I
yeah,
agree with you. Though. I agree because if they done that for that show, people, you're right.
yeah,
People would have gone in with a negative attitude, like why are you forcing it? Why you do? But because they pull it in there, and also they made.
yeah,
But we're going off topic of that one, but they made a
yeah,
beautiful love story because it was a good love
yes.
story. So I'm like,
It's just
okay,
a love
you
story.
exactly you gave us such a good love story that, and even though they were gay and whatnot, it was so good and it fit in natural. I'm like, that's what the
Yeah.
way you're supposed to do it if you're trying to pull it in there. But if you were
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
oh, episode 3, I think it was episode 3,
Is he?
gay
Yeah.
story,
Is he
love
gonna
story,
be
then you're gonna
gay?
be like, well, you just forced this shit. And now I'm gonna be like, well, I'll watch it, but it's not gonna be as
Yeah. All you
impactful.
think about is the gay episode, the
Yeah,
gay episode.
exactly,
But yeah,
exactly. Because like
yeah,
look, in the world, and we're trying to be accepting people, as this movie says it, right? Accept people for who
Yeah,
they are, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah,
I mean, in Hollywood and all this whole, I guess the woke agenda in one way is trying to
yeah,
say accept people for who they are. Cool. If
yeah,
Hollywood's gonna do that, do it in the way where it naturally fits into a story. Don't
yeah,
force it.
yeah,
If you force it,
right.
people are not going to accept it. But if you naturally pull it in with beautiful
Yeah,
stories and flows into a good storyline and all that sort of stuff,
yeah,
people would naturally be like, oh, okay, that fits in well. I'll take that. But if you
right.
just force it, everyone's going to be against it. Don't force it. Just flow it into the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Instead of like it feels like a corporate strategy to do that,
Exactly. Even
right?
with like,
Yeah.
look, even with like, back to the Marvel, like Captain America being a black Captain America. Now, of course, we got him in the comic
Ah,
books
yeah.
anyway. But I feel that the way they done it over the last 10 years and they build up Falcon, like natural, you naturally handed it over to him. And now, of course,
Yeah.
through his show, they're showing the struggles of it, but it wasn't just like
Yeah.
forced. It wasn't just like, oh, Falcon comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere and now he's a new Captain America. It's like, no, they built him up and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff is natural. But if he just showed up in any games and it's like, oh, you're the new Cap because you're a black man, it would have been forced. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, you've done it wrong. But they
Right.
built him up naturally,
Right.
which I feel like that's the way it should be. So for me,
Yeah.
he naturally falls as the leader of the new Captain America. Um,
Yeah. They give him a whole show to address this. Like, yeah,
exactly.
like develop the idea of him being a black. I mean, the good thing is they even, that theme of him being black Captain America was the whole thing about that show, like how people deal with it and all that. So
Yes.
I'm glad they did that. Although I don't really, I mean, it's not the best series or anything, but I'm glad they did something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It dressed. I
Yeah,
agree. I mean, the show wasn't the
yeah,
best, but it addressed certain things. And especially that show kind of hit because the what's that thing? What's the guy's name in America that died? The police, the guy who killed him. What have I gone blank for? Oh shit, I've gone
the
so blank. But the guy who was killed in America, the black guy, and there was
uh
a big riot and whatnot over him.
oh, the guy who got the knee on the neck thing.
Yeah, I've gone so blank
Yeah.
on his name
Uh,
right now. That's how bad it
Sorry,
is, man.
I me too. I don't want to try
Yeah,
to
anyway, it will
remember, but
come to
yeah,
me later. But anyway, it all happened to
yeah,
kind of around that, and they addressed it in that show. But anyway,
yeah.
moving back to Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, what other
Yeah,
characters
sorry.
didn't we touch? We touched on all of them, right? So okay, Cosmo, the dog, with his telepathic powers, and
Cosmo, yeah,
the new I can't remember his name, but the new Yondu with the whistling.
yeah, the arrow.
Yeah.
I like him.
It's
Like,
fun, but I don't
but
think they built him up too
was
well. But he was kind of fun.
yeah, I like Cosmo. I think we first seen it like in that the collector's bank or something like that. I
Yeah.
thought it was a cameo. I think she was. It's a she now. I didn't know. I thought it was, or maybe they changed it for the movie. It's a she. It's in the Christmas special, right? Like
Yes, yeah.
yeah, and she's here now. I like those two characters, like especially even this small side character thing have a small little arc where he calls her a bad girl, bad dog, and then at the end is she's a a good dog. It's a small little thing, but they give a development even there.
Yeah.
Even they gave him, you see Yondu's cameo. I think that's him. I mean, that's him physically there and not reused, I guess, from older footage. But they
Hmm.
gave him something like that to, like, he can't control it, or like he doesn't know how to, and he's got reminded, like, use your heart. Or yeah, I guess that's little small little things like that, makes me appreciate how it's well written in these movies. I guess the strength of the series is you have to have one create like a creative mind that sees through this whole movies. I don't know what else. The other movies, like they don't feel like it flows as a whole. Like Iron Man, it does 1, 2, 3. It feels a bit different when it goes through changes of a director or writer. This one, you can feel that evolution from the first movie to the last. Even smaller characters get their proper send off in this one. So yeah, I guess small like side characters gets developed like this, which I appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, because you know, because you're dealing with a lot of characters in this movie, and
Yeah, right.
you need every character to have its own little arc or emotional attachment with the audience. So you know, each character gets that their own praise. Because that was one of my things about the Eternals. I, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know any of them, and I don't really care about
yeah,
any of
right.
them. Like I never had any
Yeah,
emotional connection with one of those characters, so I don't give a shit about them right now at all.
yeah,
So it's difficult. I get it. It's difficult when you're trying to build up a group of characters. I mean, obviously the Guardians have had a couple of movies, they've had Endgames, Infinity War, and whatnot. But I think even now, even with this movie, with Cosmo, with I can't remember his name, but with him, they're giving us those little emotional interactions and little arcs that you're like, oh, I like him. Like
yeah,
if they give me more of him, I don't mind. If they don't,
yeah,
I guess I don't mind, but I like what they've done with him. You know what I mean?
right.
But if he shows up again, it's gonna be like, all right, well, that's gonna be it's gonna be fun to have them because I know the relationship that he already had with Cosmo and the rest of the Guardians and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that was pretty cool. What
yeah.
else was in the movie, man? I mean, trying to think. I mean, the
Oh,
main villain
I
we spoke about him. I do think you know what you were saying earlier about him, like he wasn't like the biggest threat. And in a way, he wasn't, but in a way, he was to his own creation because he did destroy a world, right? He created a world and he ended up destroying it. So
yeah,
he wasn't a threat to the larger cosmos and whatnot, but and
right,
Earth,
yeah,
but he was a threat to his own creations, which was quite horrible because he destroyed a freaking Earth, right?
yeah. He's like he's an asshole, right? Like when he when he was like going unhinged at the last part and everyone turns on him, like you can like you understand why people turn on him. He's like he's not evil, like he's not doing like I mean he's evil, but he's cruel and crazy and like he doesn't respect anything else.
yeah, his
And he's
personality is shitty.
yeah,
Like you said with
that's
Thanos,
the
like Thanos was
yeah,
evil, but actually he thought he was doing it for a good reason.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
never, you know, he had love for his daughter and all this. Yeah, this guy was just a piece of
yeah.
shit. Like his personality was a piece of shit, and then he was evil on, you know, no
Yeah,
remorse,
but
destroying his
yeah,
creations.
in other villains, you can sometimes you feel a disconnect because villains normally want to conquer like the world. Or, you will never understand like why would you want to do that? You know, for this one because it's a smaller scale, you can even think of him as like just a mad scientist or like a
Yes,
crazy boss or something like that. So you can understand the plot through him. You can relate. I mean, not relate to his motivations, but it's like, oh, this guy gotta go. And at the last part when they all just like fucked him up, that
yeah,
was like it was satisfying to watch because yeah, he deserved it.
he
Like
deserved a good
after
beating.
all of that,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was
uh,
nice that because you know some people might think like you know all the Guardians coming at the end and having their own part to beat him up like is a bit like almost a bit cheesy, but I thought it was amazing because I think they all did it for Rocket Raccoon. They all learned
yeah,
what this piece of shit done to one of their brothers that they loved, so they all wanted to
yeah,
get a beating in on this guy. And the fact that Rocket Raccoon chose not to kill him again,
yeah,
it goes to show the evolution of his character as well. That
yeah,
that's not him as a person. That this piece of shit
yeah,
wanted me to do that or tried to force me to be this thing. I'm not gonna be what
yeah,
this piece of shit wanted me to be, which I thought
yeah,
was
yeah.
awesome. The other thing that I tell you that I really liked, or thought we got some good action scenes in this, man. Like I was
Right.
thinking about all the other movies, right? There was that one scene when they opened the door and there was all those bad guys, and there was just this
Yeah,
big
that corridor scene.
yes, That was
Yeah,
really freaking good, man. I was like, that was a really cool action scene that they gave us, and really
yeah.
showed all of their powers. I thought that was a great. I think we got some good action scenes in this movie.
It's it, I think I forgot did Groot like kill someone? Like, I think he killed someone in the face or something, and then spikes coming out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of violent. But yeah, there's a I think every Marvel movie or show needs a hallway fight, like the Daredevil one.
Daredevil, they started. Daredevil started it off, and then yeah, when we
Yeah,
do a
I guess
hallway scene, it's just
that
the best.
one track, yeah, one
Yeah,
shot,
yeah,
doing all that. Yeah, you see Gamora slicing people up. Yeah, I like that one, but uh, I guess those um mechanical monster things, I think they were also a bit. I don't know. They I thought it was like something a big threat, but it's kind of easy to just dispose of it.
yeah. True. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
just
Because it sounded like that
kind of.
released still, whatever the way it was, and then they
Yeah,
were easy
yeah.
to be
And like,
killed off.
oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
But that was a
Yeah, I
really
like
good
the part.
action scene though, because I saw that and I was like, this was awesome. Because I don't, it's been a while that and I don't think even in all the other Guardians movies, even though we got good action, you just didn't get
Yeah,
that one moment where they all done a teamwork sort of thing. Because
yeah,
do you know what that
right.
reminded me of actually? Remember Avengers: Age of Ultron? There was that one scene where they're
Yeah,
in the circle protecting the
yeah,
bow,
yeah,
and they had that moment, right? That big action scene where the
yeah.
camera just kind
And
of
Iron
swerved
Man
out.
did a shield and
Yes,
all
yes,
the
yes.
laser thing.
So
Yeah,
it reminded me of that scene, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, just the camera just kind of whirling around, and each of them are just battling through, just and
yeah,
just working as a team, killing
yeah,
these things. I thought that was a really good action scene,
yeah.
that they done.
I like it here better because I think it flows better. Like one character to the other, and the Captain America was doing some flippy thing with it for no reason. Like
It
okay,
was just
but
cool. It
this
was
one,
cool to do.
yeah, I guess so. I guess you gotta show off something, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one is cool. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Definitely. I love James
Yeah.
Gunn obviously done an amazing job with soundtracks. Every one of his movies or
All
all his
right, the
movies are
music. Yeah,
great with the music and the soundtrack.
yeah,
I do love like because like so Star-Lord ran back on the ship to pick up the little Walkman thing, the music player thing to give to
yeah.
Rocket, right? He gave him, it said,
All right.
I went back for this for you. But I do like each scene, and it finished off with one of the, I can't remember the tune's name, but the original
It's
tune we got
Florence and the
from,
Machine.
yes,
Oh,
okay, yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, the original one. Yeah, the one that plays in the first movie. Yeah,
yeah. It's a good
yeah,
touch, man. The music is such a big part
yeah,
of these movies, and it's a good
yeah,
touch. And I think he done a great job again with the music, man. And I think James Gunn's just
yeah.
good at that.
It opens with Creep. Like I haven't heard that for a long time.
Yes, yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
I guess it fits the scene, and that the last celebration one with Florence and the Machine. That was, but it seems like I guess they didn't choose the music until after the movie is done. So I
Is
don't
that
know
what it
what they were
felt?
dancing to.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
because
Their
it doesn't
dancing
feel it.
felt
Yeah,
like the pace and their tone of their dancing felt a bit more
yeah. The
upbeat
beat,
compared to the tune, right?
yeah,
Yes, I felt
yeah.
that
The
too.
beat doesn't really. So it's okay, but it feels like it's just an observation. Like oh, I don't think the music was in the scene. I think they chose it after they filmed everything and
You
during
know
the
what? It's a
editing.
good point.
Yeah.
I'm no dancer and I can't move for shit, but it did feel like their dancing tone was faster than the actual music that was playing.
Yeah. It doesn't sing right,
Yeah.
but it's still okay. It's still fun to see them. It's in drags, dancing and all that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's like because in the first movie it was just Star-Lord dancing on his own and nobody else joined him. So this one is a whole nowhere, like the whole city is like having this celebration together, dancing together is a nice ending to this. The music theme, James Gunn with all his music and all that. So I guess this is a good final um, celebration with that aspect of the movie, which plays
Yes.
a huge part.
It's a good,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you brought up a good point. The movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise started with just Star-Lord dancing, and then it
Yeah.
ended with the whole of nowhere and the community dancing and
Yeah.
whatnot. It's
Yeah.
actually a really good theme from beginning
So
to end.
yeah, I like that. You know, at first I said I like this movie and not really love it, but I changed my mind. I really love this movie.
Sometimes you know what it is, bro. Sometimes you just need to talk about it and get different perspectives and whatnot. Because
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
lot of movies, me and my brother, we love all of them. But then we talk to people and listen to them, and they give us
yeah.
different perspectives.
The
We're
more,
like,
yeah,
oh, I love it more, or okay, I get you. I don't like. I'm not gonna say I don't like it anymore, but I understand why you don't like it and whatnot. But with
yeah,
some other movies, you're like, oh yeah, actually, I do like it. Like you realize there's more to it because there's little.
yeah,
You just need to talk about it to kind of,
yeah.
you
I
know,
just need to express it and then process my thoughts. No, I really love it.
yeah, man. I honestly I want to watch it again. A Marvel movie hasn't
Yeah,
made me feel, except Spider-Man No Way Home because that was really great. After that, honestly, bro, I can't watch a Marvel movie again, bro. My routine,
yeah,
honestly, was from phase one all the way to I guess
yeah,
Spider-Man No Way. I would watch all of them minimum twice, right? That was my
yes,
routine
yes,
because I loved them so much, and
yeah,
I still love them. But these new movies haven't made me feel like I want to go back. It's like, oh, I watched it. I'll wait for
yeah.
it to come out on Disney Plus.
I,
But
yeah. Just I'm a bit of the opposite actually. Like this movie, it feels it feels kind of special to me. So I kind of not want to watch it again. I want to preserve this feeling
mm.
I have for it. I eventually I will, but it's not something like I want to get back to. I don't want to like sully the emotions or anything. I just want to preserve the moment,
Yeah,
Other
save it.
movies I watch more than once because maybe I like the action. Like Winter Soldier, I watched the most, I guess, because of the fights and the actions.
Yeah.
And I think for this one, I just want to, yeah, like you said, savor it a bit. I don't know whether I want to get back to it. Like it might trigger something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I get
Is
you.
a yeah. So
Save it for
maybe
another emotional time in the future. I mean, you're right. I
yeah,
mean,
when I really need it.
Endgames, bro, I watched that 7 times. I was so the first time, so I watched that by myself in Singapore, and I was going through some shit myself as well then. But also I
Same
was
here.
so invested with this MCU and whatnot. I watched it
Yeah.
twice on the same day, bro, right? So I booked it
Oh
once in the
man,
morning
that's a
in
3 hour movie. Like
yeah, yeah. I booked it once in the morning in shit, I can't remember the area in Singapore, but one cinema, and then I booked it once again near home, Golden Village at Badok, where I used to live, right?
yeah.
What was the first? I can't remember the first. Anyway, I remember I was so invested I had to. Both the first one, bro, I was in tears. The first scene, I was in tears. The whole freaking movie just got me, right?
Uh
And then the
yeah.
second time I watched it, I was able to kind of watch it and still emotional, but I was able to enjoy it a bit more. But that movie I watched 7 times, where I was so invested. But with this one, I could definitely go watch it again. But I do feel like if I just hold myself and when it does come out on Disney Plus, watch it then
Yeah.
and just try to feel those same emotions again because it would just get me
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Just you know give it some breathing space just to get especially when I watch it I think I need some I just to process like I thank you for bringing me into this because I need to talk to someone about it like I watched it alone the other day, was it yesterday? No, it was the other day. And it was I couldn't really process what I feel without, saying it. Maybe it's in my mind, in my heart. I can't really write it. And I need someone like, like this. This is perfect for me. Like, I'm forgetting all my troubles and my problems and just, expressing this one. So yeah, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just yeah, it's a good thing to share. And then, I can really process what I
Yeah.
really think. So I really love it. instead of just liking it, like I said.
Yeah, and also, I mean, listen, bro,
Yeah,
we always say this, like, like talking is a form of therapy, and expressing
yeah,
yourself
yeah,
is a form of therapy. And that's why people always say, like, if you're going through something, mental health is a real thing. But if you're going through something, the best thing is to just communicate with someone, right? Be it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes the weird thing is, bro, you might not want to communicate with one of your dear loved ones, be it your partner, your mother, your father, your brother,
yeah,
whatever. It could be someone random, it could be a friend, or someone
yeah,
just right. Like, but communication is such a key thing when you're going through some shit, to help you
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of like, I don't know, expressing yourself is a form of therapy, man. And I'm glad that you're on this. I'm glad, you communicating with us, and you're able to kind of not just enjoy the movie in a different way, but just enjoy, like, your own mental clarity of what you were going through, just kind of feel
yeah,
better about that. And this is the
yeah,
amazing thing about these movies, right? Because they connect us.
right.
Like, we obviously
Yeah,
we knew each other from training. We trained jujitsu, so we're martial art
yeah,
brothers and whatnot. But I
yeah,
feel like we're connecting more through our passion of these comic books and these movies, because which what we
yeah,
really love
yeah,
as well. And it gives us
right.
this opportunity to talk more, and become like closer friends. And I was just telling my wife, I was like, because I was telling her, yeah, I'm gonna do the podcast with Aidil, and I was like, you know what? We're talking more now after I left
Yeah,
Singapore than when
with
I was in
nice.
Singapore.
That's it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because
It's
we
like
couldn't for 4 years. I mean, I met you, I guess, in the Evolve Kennex branch, because I don't you didn't go to the
no, mostly in Connect.
yeah. So we met
Yeah,
then, but yeah,
I, I, I'm like I'm really an introvert actually. I don't know. It's kind of obvious. I don't really open up too much and all that. But if if there's a common ground that I find with someone like this, and yeah, it really connects me to people. It's introvert doesn't mean like I don't want to talk. I just want to talk to someone about something that I can connect with. It's just not small talk. I mean, I can talk to people, but it feels like I'm just playing a role in it.
mm,
And this one, I'm glad we found something like this. Maybe it's a bit too late after you left, but it's okay. Like, I was looking forward to this to like to talk about it.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's never too
Yeah,
late. We got the communication, the technology to do these things. And when
yeah,
when I come back to Singapore eventually, I would have to. We definitely will communicate and maybe do one of these in
yeah,
person and whatnot. But yeah, no, I'm like you, bro. I've always spoken about that. Like, if you put me like in a work event and they're like, "Oh, you got to go mingle and network," I am terrible at it. Like, I hate it. I don't.
yeah,
I'm an
right.
introvert as well in that sense. But if, for example, I met someone there who wants to talk about, comic books and the MCU and DC universe, and or UFC and MMA, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
let's talk. Now I'm not an introvert no more, because I want to talk about those things. But if you want to talk about business and advertising and whatever, I'm
yeah.
like, fuck it. I
I'm
don't want to
terrible.
talk.
I'm terrible at it. You know,
Yeah.
at, Part of it is at work. I'm like, am I really doing this? Like, am I acting in this work that I'm doing? Or am I really, I don't find myself having a really deep passion at work. Like, it feels like something that I need to do for financial reasons. And sometimes, when you interact and all that, it feels like I'm just acting up like that.
I
I
think a
don't know if
lot of
it makes
people.
sense, but
No, it makes sense. I think a lot of people are,
yeah,
bro. I'm the same. Like, I've made it clear to everyone. Like, my job's cool. I work with amazing people. All this, but
yeah,
advertising is not my passion. Like, I listen to some of my peers and leadership, and the way they talk about it, it's like it's life to them. I'm like, cool. I'm cool with that. But it's not, I don't have the
yeah,
same feeling. But I will do my best on my job. I would never let anyone down and all that stuff. But it's not my passion.
yeah,
This is more of a
yeah,
passion. Training martial arts is a passion. If I could get
yeah.
paid for those things, like, I wish I had a fighter's mentality so I could go fight and make that my
No.
job. But I'm not a fighter, so I can't do that. I'll just train martial arts. But
Yeah.
even with this
Because
podcast,
yeah,
me and Kibbs were just
yeah,
talking about it. Like, we don't get paid. Like Kibla we get an amazing opportunity. So that is payment in
Yeah,
itself.
it
I
was
think,
in the Star Wars celebration. Like, oh my God,
yeah,
he's
and I don't know
going.
if you saw he's seen the Flash movie. They Warner Brothers they
Yeah, I
invited
mean,
to 2 months
how did
before it came
he
out.
get?
So
Yeah, it's like, is this early he gets this opportunity? Like,
yeah, I mean,
it. Oh my
so
God.
through this podcast, like we don't get money, but we get those
Yeah.
opportunities, right?
Yeah, I follow him. I watch his live sketching. It's therapeutic to see someone doing what he loves. Absolutely like that. Like, you can see what he loves. And same with you. I love what you guys did because this is born out of passion and not, like you can really feel it's authentic. Like actually before I got this job, I was out of work for like few months. Um, I did some, a side gig here and there, like interior design, architectural design, but I was doing more of my art, and I got some art commissions. That was really my passion. It was my most enjoyable unemployment phase that I had, and uh, it's tough to just live off through it. That's why I jumped back into a full-time job. But that few months was, I felt free. I felt really, I'm happy. I went to Japan. It was like best moment. Like even going solo watching. I mean, I watched my favorite band there, Baby Metal. If I don't know if anyone knows. And it was like that few months of you just being who you are. Like I was happy, I was glad to not I know it's weird to say, and to not even have a job. I have that time to do what I wanted to do all the time. So going back to work now, it goes back to like okay, this 9 to 5 job. It's not, I mean, it doesn't kill me, but I would rather be doing something else. I, I
definitely. I
don't I
mean,
don't know. It's just that feeling I have.
I don't think you know what, bro. I don't think you're alone with that. I think a lot of people are the same. But I think the problem is people get so sucked into the 9 to 5 that they forget that passion.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like just
yeah,
use what you've learned this whole time while you were unemployed and doing the passion that you love. Just don't forget that. Set that time up to do that
right.
after work or
Yeah,
whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be it
yeah.
the martial arts, be it your artwork. Because your artwork's amazing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Thank
originally
you.
when we first done the podcast, like I didn't even know that you had that kind of artwork, like that you did that sort of stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like this is amazing. So you could still do that on the side, you know what I mean? Like, end
Yeah,
of the day, man, life is the way life has been set up, right? We need
yeah,
these
yeah,
financial things. Like, don't get me wrong, some people could be like, well, I don't need money. I could just go live in a bush
yeah.
and
I can do
uh,
that.
we okay, yes, we've been programmed a different way. It's just the way our life is, right? So we need
Yeah,
that income to come in. However, like don't forget about your passion, your art. Do that on the side,
yeah,
and maybe you can make an extra couple of dollars. And but don't make it about the money. So you mentioned about us. My brother, and he spoke about on the podcast for the longest time. Everything was about how do we make the money? How do we make the money? And nothing ever
yeah.
happened. When you have that mentality, nothing happened. And we had a
Yes,
channel,
yes.
before, and we got to like 2,000 subscribers straight away. We had like views of like 45,000 and 50,000 views and whatnot, because we were trying to chase clicks and money and doing all this bullshit.
Right.
And I was like, I was telling my brother, like, Tibbs, I can't do this. I don't want to do a trailer reaction to this shitty movie that someone's asked me to do because I don't know this movie. It's not what I want to do, right? Even though it will get
Yeah,
like 30,000 views. I was like, this is shit. So that's why we stopped it. And everything we've done now, we change it to the Brothers Geek Out. And it's all what we want to do. Now we're still
yeah,
growing. We don't get the same amount of view videos. We're still on like 400 subscribers. We're like, but this is authentic. Like, I woke up
yeah.
early on a Saturday to be like, yeah, I'm a geek out with a deal to talk about Guardians of the
I'm so
Galaxy.
sorry about that. The
No, 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 but I
time.
wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? I told my
Yeah,
brother, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the spoiler review with a deal. Like, I'm happy on a Saturday, on a Sunday that I catch up with my friend and we talk about UFC and fight. Like, I want to do it. But if it was like,
yeah,
oh, gee, can you do this review about this shitty movie that someone asked you to do? on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock because it's gonna get 50,000 views. I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to do that. It's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
I'm not passionate about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't lose that passion, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you got to
Yeah.
do the 9 to 5. That's life. But you know, do it on the
Yeah.
side and whatnot, man. Because that's the worst thing you could do is just get sucked into that 9 to 5 and not do what you know your passion is.
Yeah. Now I find I allocate a certain time of the day to do it, to just, just reconnect back to what I love to do. It sometimes, yeah, it's not a constant thing, but it's always a good to fall back to it, like just to remind yourself what you love in life, your
Definitely.
family or your friends, or your passion in life. So yeah, I'm glad I have something like that to do, you know. Yeah, it's been a bit tough lately, but it still gives me comfort. It's something solitary for me to do. Um, it, yeah, I like, I don't know. It's just me processing it. Like, oh, okay, if things get tough, I'm reminded of what gives me joy in life. So, and this is one of it. So, thank you again for having me here.
No worries, man. I'm glad, and I'm
Yeah,
glad, you know, it helps. And I love the fact that it
yeah,
helps. And all we're doing is just
yeah,
communicating about something that we love, right? And then it gives you,
yeah.
you know, people
Like you
might
say, it's a
think, yeah, I mean, like,
yeah,
I know this is content, like, and whatnot for the channel, but really, like, we're not journalists, we're not critics, we're fans, and
yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking about something that we both enjoy and whatnot. But I'm glad, you know, that you are, you know, that one, this is helping, and two, you kind of almost kind of getting a recognition of like, oh, that's what I enjoy, and I can't forget
yeah,
my
yeah,
artwork and stuff. I mean, like,
yeah,
you know, like where do you get like you went to Japan and everything like that itself, and you said you were unemployed for a while, but you felt really happy and stuff. Like, where do you
yeah.
like get inspiration from for some of your art pieces? Like, what is it? Something that you see, something you hear, you something you feel, where you're like, oh, I feel this, so I'm gonna draw this. Like, where's that inspiration come from?
Yeah, people ask me that. I guess sometimes, like, okay, this sometimes I get weird ideas, like, oh, maybe a woman with a ocean wave for her hair. That kind of just a small little idea, and like, oh, I can make it work. So it comes to this point where I think I developed the skill to put what I think in my mind into paper or physical form, and it's like almost one to one to what I imagine it to be. So I don't know whether I think I talked about it, but sometimes, like in Japan, I just go around. It's like you watch people with the just street fashion. Not the Harajuku crazy ones.
Yeah,
Just no normal street fashion. Like in Japan, it's like this is so cool. Everyone is wearing like a oversized. I don't know. Maybe I'm like kind of old. I'm out of touch with fashion. Like, oh, not now the trend is everything seems to be oversized and big. And I see like a vintage area where they sell the clothes and all that. And I went through like the vintage bookshop with there's a lot of art books and all that. So this kind of things inspire me. Like, oh, maybe not exactly the idea. Maybe it gives just a bit of oh, these people are doing way something different. So your mind naturally tries to branch out into something you don't even think about. And even the styles where you get comfortable with your own style, but sometimes you just want to branch out and try to do something like you would think anime manga art is like that, but it's a bit more nuanced. There's a lot more going on in that scene. So I was trying to explore some of that. So those are the ideas. I guess sometimes you get ideas to draw. Sometimes you get style you want to explore with, and then from there you get you want to do something flowy and dynamic. And it's something, oh, maybe it can be ribbons, hair, or cloth, and then you attach to another idea, or maybe it can be in this environment, this character doing this pose. So yeah, I don't normally do like live drawings and all that. It's mostly crazy ideas. I guess mostly is from what I see in books or comics or movies, and instead of I know people use word prompts, or they read something, a paragraph, and then try to convey it in art form. But uh, I guess for me it's more visual. If I see something cool, if I think about something unique, or I want to try out, and so I just do it. And it's good that lately I've been getting art commissions, which I didn't even think I would be doing that. So I'm kind of blessed with that. I even had to turn down some jobs because I didn't want to do, like, someone said, "Oh, can you do this, exactly this style and all that?" I'm like, that's not what. If you want to ask me to do it, I can just copy it, and it's you can ask somebody else to do it. Somebody cheaper. I don't think I want to do that. I want to follow what I love to do. If somebody give me an idea, or draw this, then up to you how you want to do it, how you want to express it. So yeah, that's the job I want to do. Even I don't really charge that much. Like, maybe I'm not a professional, so I don't expect people to pay me a professional price. But as long as the project is fun, it is something I don't even try to limit. Like, sometimes you don't give you give two options on that, but for this one, it's more like a collaborative piece. Like, oh, do you think I should go to this direction and all that? Or maybe something else? Oh, okay, then it's more of a collaborative piece where the end result will be something we both worked on, and I use my skills, and they have the idea and provide me with what they want, and eventually the end product is everyone's happy with it. So yeah, I guess the inspiration comes from just years of experience and childhood and watching things. um, I don't I don't really study much of real life. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I have to, like, that's why in Japan I actually sat down in a street, and just people watching, like, the movement, the fashion, the environment, the buildings, and even the lighting. It's such an inspiration, especially if you're going somewhere where you haven't been, or maybe you're not familiar with, and you get that feeling of, ah you want to explore, you want to do something new. So yeah, those kind it's just a mixture of all the different experiences I had. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, bro. And then
Yeah.
going back to what you were saying about rejecting projects and work. Like, well, first of all, saying that you even know that you can get paid for doing your artwork. I think it's important, and I've seen this so many times. I've seen it with my brother. Like, if you put your artwork out there to get paid, you would never
Yeah.
have get paid,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
one,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be being true to yourself and expressing your
Yeah.
artwork to yourself. You'll be expressing it in a way of, how do I get paid for this, right? So that's one thing I don't think ever would have happened unless if you chase for the money. And secondly, the fact that you're open, because you want, of course, making extra money is nice, but the fact that you're open to say, listen, if you're not going to allow me to be creatively free, then pay someone else from it. That, just having that
Yeah.
humbleness to it. And I think that's what's going to lead to, when I say success, not money, but I'm talking about success for you to
Mm.
just do your
Yeah.
artwork. And I think that's so important, that a lot of people need to see, like, do your
Yeah.
passion, but don't chase the money. The money will come if you
Yeah.
be true to yourself. If you don't be true to
Mm.
yourself, the money won't come, and it will be stressful. I always say this because I want to be my goal is, I want to be a personal trainer, but I don't want to do it for money,
Oh.
which is why I'm still doing my corporate. Because people say to me, why don't you just do it now? And I'm like, if I do it now, I'm going to do it for money. and I'm gonna be like, I need
Yeah.
10 clients, I need it. It's not gonna work out, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do
Yeah.
it for
To
love.
survive.
Exactly. So I'm trying to financially set myself free, and then I want to go do it. And even if I had one client, it's going to make all the difference in the world because I really, do it out of passion.
Mm.
So I think it's important that you've seen that, man, and I'm happy that you've seen that because otherwise, I would have to build up the confidence to try and tell you like, Adil, I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you were trying to make money, I would have to be like, as a friend, I'd be like, I don't think you're doing it for the right reason. That's why I don't think
Mm.
it's working out.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've already seen that in your own journey is amazing. And I've seen that through my brother, and that's how all these opportunities have come through all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's great
Yeah.
that as an artist, that you can just get inspiration from, be it people watching and visuals, like be it
Yeah.
like buildings and lights and all that sort of stuff. You're an artist, so
Yeah.
you see things different to the way maybe I see things. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
I don't think it's different. I think we all tap into the same thing. I just process it through art filter, I guess.
yeah. What's your
Like,
what's your
yeah,
process then? Like say for you're on the streets of Japan and you sat down, you're
yeah.
looking, and say for example you don't have like what is the process? Like you get inspired. Do you write it down? Do you start drawing there and then? Do you go home and say like at
Uh,
this time I'm gonna get a cup of tea or whatever and just draw like what's that
I,
process after?
I carried a sketchbook um in Japan. I actually carried the iPad also to draw, but I think iPad uh if you want to sketch, the most important thing is to limit yourself to so you don't get distracted by trying to finish with the colors and all that. You just need to put it in quickly what your ideas are from here to the paper quickly. So you just get it through. So the best is just a small little sketch pad for you to. So I carried that in my pocket with a pencil. And I think that's the power of being an introvert. I'm comfortable being alone, so I can sit somewhere alone and just sketch it out. And it's weird to see. I mean, I don't sketch people's faces. I sketch even when they are moving. I like sketch the basic shapes. All right, I think that's the process. I like movement. I don't like static pictures. So if if someone is in motion, it's even better for me to sketch it like that. And I actually talked to a few people who noticed me doing that. So so going back to connecting with other people, like, so this is a common ground. People were seeing me drawing, although um there was a language barrier, but we can still communicate. That we understand what you're trying to say about the drawing, the art. And the person showed me like a few mangas he had, and that's where I like, oh, this manga art is far different from what I thought. I don't read a lot of mangas. So after that, I went to the bookshop and tried to find something I can. Oh, maybe I'll take that book. So,
Okay, sure, yeah.
so yeah, so I bought this straight away. It's I guess it's all different styles of Japanese art. Like you wouldn't think this is manga. You wouldn't think this is manga.
Mm,
Like like this one's it's in Japanese, but it's like there's like children's style. There's animated style. There's like traditional styles. This one is just a more painted look. So I love this kind of you get to explore. You get to explore people's cultures through this maybe art or music or movies. And this is what I tap into. So I'm grateful for that experience. And it just started off with a small sketch. Somebody talked to me about it, showed me some stuff. Then I got inspired, and then I googled where to find the best bookshop. And somewhere in Tokyo, I forgot what's the name. It is a very very nice bookshop. And uh yeah, I spent like the whole day there trying to look at through all this. I couldn't afford all the books, so I could pick one. So yeah, I spent a few hours there just exploring.
It's amazing. I mean, and I think with art, even with me, I'm not an artist, but you know,
Yeah,
in that sense, but through like listening to you, like with my brother the whole time, my uncle, you come to and
yeah,
also growing up and maturing and whatnot, you come to realize art is is an expression of so many things. It's not just drawing, it's not just painting, it's the emotions and everything that go through it. But even these things, right? People like I tell people, to me, that's art.
yeah.
That's art. Like I
Yeah,
look
that
at
is
it,
art.
yeah, I look at it with you know, it's an art piece, you know what I mean? A sculpture. And
Mm.
so a lot of people, some people, you know, you might have a sculpture of, I don't know, some kind of Picasso piece. That's art too,
Yeah,
right? Maybe it's
yeah,
valued different because in society or the world or the artist or whatever, but end of the day, it's an expression of art. It's a free
yeah,
form of art, and art can kind of expand
yeah,
in so many things. And even, you know, martial arts, what we do is an art form.
yeah,
There's so much art out there that it's not
yeah,
just one little thing, which is just drawing or painting or whatnot. And then through
yeah,
that, you just the thoughts and the inspirations, and as you said, just talking to a random Japanese individual
yeah,
explores, you know, it opens your mind to a different form of art. And even with manga and whatnot, even with that, like it's not just what you think. It's not just the anime that you see maybe in Dragon Ball Z.
yeah,
It expands out of that. Like, yes, there's maybe
yeah,
like a theme that you have to go with, but the creative form
yeah,
is outside of just what you know. And I think that's just art in general, like just expanding your mind and
yeah.
whatnot. I was thinking
I
about
guess
something.
it's yeah,
I was sorry. I was just thinking about something the other day where about creativity. And one of the when I first started working, right, one of the and no offense to the person, or some people might think like this, but one of the things I was told is that you have to think creative, right? You have to think creatively. But to me, you know, I will sit there and I'll look at something at work or whatever, and I'm like, think creative, think creative. It never worked. I'm like, how the fuck do you think
yeah,
creative, right? What I realized over these years of life is for me, it's not think creative, it's express yourself, like truly express
yeah,
yourself. And that's when creativity will come, right? In whatever it is.
yeah,
So I don't think you can think creatively. I think you just gotta, and it goes back to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie that we watched, like be yourself
yeah,
and truly express
yeah,
yourself and love yourself. And that's when the creativity of whatever you're trying to create comes. And I think that's the
yeah,
beauty of art as well. Like just express yourself, and
yeah,
whatever your creativity is going to be displayed in, be it art, painting, statue,
yeah,
whatever, and then other people can
yeah,
enjoy it. Like I enjoy your artwork. I look at your artwork and I'm not like, I'm not an artist, but I look at that and I'm like, I appreciate the skill set, but I also appreciate like what's going through your mind. I'm like, what's he thinking about when he's drawing, you know, this woman with wavy hair like that? Like, what are you thinking? Like, I get I can appreciate
yeah,
it, and I love the work. You know what I mean? Same way that I appreciate this. I'm like, I wonder what the artist was thinking about, but it relates to the Punisher, and I know he just fucked some shit up, and I love that shit. You know what I mean? So you can relate it to certain.
yeah. Like, if you like, I like statues like that. If you like look at the small little grenades and all that, and you kind of feel how the sculptors sculpt that little groove and all that. So it's you can appreciate like the firstly the skill that you know the person learns to do that, but you can it follows their experiences, their life that brought them to that point, or you get that sculpture of the person who did that. I love that little small little things where you would think it's just like just little things in the statue, but all the little details is somebody have to put it there.
Yeah,
It
for
might be
sure.
mass produced, but before that somebody sculpted and put it there. How did you do it? You kind of get amazed if you're appreciative of a person's passion and skill set to bring you that
Definitely.
product.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you know, like if you think about it, the like I guess the chain reaction for me, like enjoying comic books, enjoying Marvel, enjoying Punisher, has made me realize I enjoy the artwork, that the individual who made it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it all relates
yeah,
to that. And also like So last week, one of the places that we visited was the Louvre, like the museum art Louvre,
All right.
whatever,
Yeah, I
right?
saw that.
And as I was going
Mm.
through, I realized even to myself then, just like everything's amazing. I love history, I love artwork and all that sort of stuff. But what I realized, I'm more attracted to like sculptures and ornaments and stuff than I
Mm.
am pictures. Like so, when I saw
Yeah.
some pictures and paintings, I'm like, I appreciate that. That's amazing. It was drawn by this person, amazing. But when I see an ornament that this was made 2,000 years ago, I look at that, I'm like, that I'm more
Yeah.
attracted to those sort of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so you learn more. I go to those museums and I learn more about what I love more. Like I do love those
Yeah.
ornaments. I love history and all that sort of stuff. Than I
Uh,
do
Have
certain.
you have you been to the Vatican?
I have, yes, yes,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I appreciate the first few paintings, but man, it goes on, and after a while, it just breeze past. Like, oh man, this is never ending.
That's
Like
it. I mean,
more than an hour.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean that.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
But
beautiful, but like, oh man, after a while, you've seen it all, and you just want to get to the end. Like,
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's how
and
I
like,
felt
I
with.
feel bad.
Yeah, no, but it's
Uh,
true though. I mean, but it's not that the artwork is not good or whatnot.
yeah, you
It's
just feel it's too much. I mean,
exactly.
it's like a lot of things to see. You can't process one at a time. It's it gets to a blur, and then maybe one or two you're attracted to, like, oh, that draws me in. But then like I love those museums, but sometimes it goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said,
Uh,
what I found I love is statues and ornaments and those sorts of
yeah,
those things
yeah,
fascinate me a
right.
bit more because I feel like, in my opinion, just for me as an
Yeah,
individual, there's something more to that than the
yeah,
artwork. But the artwork, like I said, I can appreciate it, but I'm more attracted to the
yeah,
ornaments and
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, I was had this conversation in Singapore with some of my colleagues because they were laughing at my stuff, and I'm like, cool, it's you can laugh at
Oh.
it. But one of the girls, she spent like think it was like 9,000 Singapore dollars, which is about 4,000 pounds on a handbag. Now, I didn't laugh at her. I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
Like, I get it because to you, you
yeah.
look at that and you're like, this is a beautiful piece of art. And look at the stitching, and it's made by whoever Louis Vuitton, so that might mean something to you.
Um,
And the way it looks and feels, I will spend 4,000 pounds on it or 9,000 Singapore, whatever it is. So I'm like, as
yeah,
a collector or as someone who appreciates art and spends money on this, I get it. I would never spend that much on a
um,
bag. Like, I don't spend
yeah.
much on clothes or anything, but I get it. But they never get, but
Yeah.
from their side, they never get this. I'm like, yeah, well, your mind's just not open to art and the appreciation of
Yeah.
art from all aspects. You know what I mean?
I get people who does those things. I mean, yeah, like you said, I wouldn't personally do that. Like even the statues, I would want to get it, but I don't have the space
Space.
to do it. And I can't be cleaning because it gets dusty and all that. So I can't be doing all that. But I love to see people having collections, or I mean they're having their passion like that. Even handbags, I don't get it, but I get why someone like that would wanna spend that much on it. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean it gets to a point where it's ridiculous, but I still okay. Like is that what you want? That's what you want?
Exactly. Well, if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said to that same person, like, fuck that. Why would you spend so much money on a handbag and laugh
Oh,
at
I
them
would
and say,
still say that.
but now, yeah, well, I guess a little bit, but now I guess I can appreciate it a bit better, man.
Yeah,
Saying
yeah,
that, people, I met this dude, you might have saw my Instagram a while back, but I'm gonna try and get him on the podcast. I met this guy he's like 58 years old. He's a guy from
yeah,
Newcastle, UK. He moved to UAE like 20 years ago. Anyway, he started collecting hot toy figures like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, right? And he's at the age of like
yeah.
50 something. He's over got like 300 plus. He just got so addicted and passionate about them. He's got like 300
Yeah, I
plus.
think I saw that. Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
gonna try and get him on the podcast. But again, I love the fact that someone can see something like or buy something or be passionate about something so much
Yeah.
that I mean, he's got money, pull it that way, right? So he can spend all his money on it. He
I
made space in his house to do it. But it's amazing. Like I don't see that as waste of money. Or whatever. I see it as like someone's following their passion. Someone's, enjoying this art piece and they look at this sculpture and they're like, this is amazing. I want this to be a part of my collection. And they get it.
Yeah,
Now, of course, like everyone's in control of their own finances and whatnot. Someone else might think, why would you spend so much money on it? Okay, maybe that individual's got the money to spend. So don't worry about that. Just like appreciate that someone's so passionate about something at the age of 55 or whatever that they're going to really get into it. And I love that. I love seeing that, man, because it's inspiring. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Like I I don't know. There was a guy in Evolve who also collects all these things. I haven't seen him for a while, but he's like, at first I thought, where did he get the money? But after a while, it doesn't even matter, because he loves all these things, and I would get it if I have the space, and I kind of appreciate his passion for it. Like I had one spawn one where I look at it for hours and hours, and it's just appreciating every little detail. I don't know where is it now. It's probably somewhere, but that is just one, and I would love to get more like this, like what you have, but just the space and all that. But
Well, I mean, yeah, I was
I
gonna
I like
say,
I like yeah, I like you have the you ha- you know you showcase this one, you put it on Instagram just to show people what you love. It's not something you should be ashamed of or anyone to laugh at, or I don't care, like this is what I love. Just showcase it.
yeah, bro, you'll be surprised. People still laugh at me. Like you're 38-year-old man and you have these toys and actually I'm like, I don't give a shit. As I'm older now, it affects me less. I don't give a shit really what they say. But
Yeah,
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 no, I mean, look, space is definitely the limiting factor. And I've had to sell a lot of mine. So when I was in Singapore, obviously I lived alone. So I
yeah.
displayed it all over my house and whatnot. Well, my one bedroom studio flat I had or whatever. But here, I've got the missus, so it's just contained in this room. So I've had to sell a few of mine. But in regards to me spending, because I got one coming from XM Studios in Singapore. It's this amazing Spider-Man Venom symbiote suit. It's fucking awesome. If you check it out, I'll send you the picture later. So I saw that
Yeah.
and I was like, XM Studios, man, take my money. So I bought that. But you have to be, in regards to the money, like me as an individual, I'm smart. I try to be smart with my money. So I don't want to just burst out all my money. I actually honestly, I know I love these things, so I actually put like £100 aside in a bank somewhere, and I just let it build, right? I let it build, and I forget about it. So when I see this Spider-Man, I'm like, holy shit! Let me see how much I got in that bank, and because it's been saving for a couple of months or years, you're like, oh, awesome! I got enough, so I'll pull it out of that little pool. So that's how I kind of do it. Like I
All
strategically
right.
put money away, so when I
Yeah.
want to buy something, because you know me, if a new Punisher comes out. I'm getting it. So I got this money in a
Yeah.
pool somewhere, so I could just go into that pool and say, all right, that's my part, that's my news tool thing. So but that's just the way I do things, or the way I do things in regards to
Yeah.
buying these sort of statues. Like, but I don't see
Wait,
them as a waste of money. Like my mum
yeah.
cusses me, my dad, and obviously I'm Muslim. I'm a Muslim guy, so my mum's cussing me like, why have you got these statues and it's haram and all
Yeah,
this stuff?
I
Like, mum, I don't pray here, I don't worship him and whatnot. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it's haram, but there's a passion behind it. I like you said,
yeah.
dusting it. Well, I go through. So I dust them so what my routine is, bro, like say if I'm stressed at work, right? So I'm working right now, people G
Okay.
chatting me, slacking me, and I'm getting stressed. I'm like, all right, wait, take a moment. And I come off and I spend
It
like
does
5 minutes and I
it.
go through it. And I just dust. It's therapeutic, one, cleaning it, and two, at the same time, I notice different little things on each art piece. Like I've had this for like since I was in Singapore, and I would notice like the crease in his bicep to get the definition when I
Yeah,
dust it. I'm like,
right.
oh, this is sick. Like, you know what I mean? You appreciate
Yeah,
little
yeah,
things
yeah.
as you go
That's what
through
I
it.
said about the details, the small little details that you
Yeah.
you find. Going back to what you said about haram and all that, even I get remarks like, why are you drawing figures? Why are you drawing humans? Like, it's like, are you trying to challenge the will of God? And like, no, it's just something I like to do. Is I'm not challenging anything. I'm not doing anything heinous. I'm not worshiping all this thing. I just, appreciating the human face and trying to draw something that matches, and the color, how the light bounces off, how the blood goes through the skin and all that. So I'm kind of, I wouldn't say pissed off, but why I'm trying to understand why people don't see it that way. Like, I'm appreciating the human, God's creation of humans and all that, and I still get, even for my mom, who's like, why are you drawing, why can't you draw geometries and plants, and like, yeah, it's just something, I don't know what to, I understand what she's coming from, but I still get these remarks from people close to me, like
Mm.
telling you, why are you drawing things with two eyes, and
Yeah, I get it. Listen, when
yeah.
when mom says something, yeah, we gotta accept it, and
Yeah,
can't take.
yeah. Yeah.
Other people, look, you're always gonna get the haram police, or that's what they called, right? The haram police. You're always gonna get them, and you know what? Good for them. Like they should be telling us, something.
Yeah,
But end
yeah,
of the day, brother, like how do I, like I say it for myself. I've got no excuses, and one day Allah will judge me, and I've made that decision.
yeah,
It's still I don't know how to explain it, man. People are gonna say shit, man, but I think Allah's giving you a
yeah,
talent. Like the way I see it, Allah's giving you a talent, man. I can't draw. Like the
yeah.
way you do what
Oh,
you're thinking, a lot of people can't do what you do, right? And Allah's given you that talent. And I think he's, for you to express your talent and know that your intentions is not, I'm not worshiping it. I'm not trying to be like God and creating a human or whatever,
yeah,
appreciating what God did, then your intentions is going to be, good. But again, I'm no scholar or nothing, so I can't tell you, you know,
yeah, yeah,
it's hard for me to say. And during Ramadan, I've, like I said, I've been trying to work on some of my imperfections and whatnot. One of the things I've been
yeah,
trying to do, which I've always tried to do, is be better with my prayers. Praying 5 times a day and all that stuff. I've always struggled, and that's my own internal battles and whatnot. Alhamdulillah, I've been doing it better since Ramadan and being in Dubai, just because of it's more accessible, and I don't know, my mentality's changed. But end of the day,
yeah,
bro, like I'm not a perfect human, and I think Allah, in my opinion, I think God appreciates people trying to work on their imperfections and whatnot,
yeah,
and
yeah. I mean,
he doesn't
yeah,
accept perfection. He's not expecting perfection, in my opinion, right? People
yes,
might,
yes,
scholars and stuff might cuss me, and they know more than me, so I appreciate them if I get cussed. But and same thing with these, man, that people say stuff, I appreciate it. You're supposed to
yeah,
tell me. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying God will judge me. I've accepted, I've made a decision, and Allah will get me when it's my time. And
yeah, yeah. I'm just hoping, I mean, the only people who knows what's in my heart is, me and God. I have always struggled with religion, honestly. Like, I was always trying to, justify, or like trying to explain things, why is this things like that in the world. But lately I've been like, oh, okay, like internalizing it, like, maybe it's not something literal, or I need to do this and that, like I need to follow it. I mean, we didn't need to follow it, but it's something in my heart. If I'm a bad person, like, I think I will get retribution one day. Maybe not here, or maybe the next life or something like that. But that's what I think. Like, as long as I try to stay true, and be a good person, and then people can judge me and all that, but I know in my heart, I'm not doing this for the wrong reason. So uh
exactly,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
and
I know it's not perfect, but that's what I feel.
exactly, and the thing is, bro,
Yeah,
I agree. Look, again, if you spoke like to someone who's proper religious and whatnot,
yeah,
they would say, no, brother, you got to do this, and again, they have all the right to, and they have their sort of
yeah,
faith and belief. But like, for us as individuals, we're just working on it each day. Like, I'm trying to say, and
yeah,
and no
yeah,
one can. we know what's right and wrong. This is why I never disrespect anyone who's not a Muslim or who's not. As long as you're a good human being, I would always
Yeah,
respect you
yeah,
and love you as a brother and
yes,
sister and whatnot. And whatever happens in the, like, your conversation, your life you have with God, that's what you're gonna have. If
yeah,
someone asks for my opinion and I know the answer according to the Quran or whatnot, I will give it to you. Whatever you go and do with it, that's up to you as an
yeah,
individual. I just
yeah,
don't agree. I just don't accept mother and father. They can tell me whatever they want, and I've always taken it to heart, and I'll love it and
yeah,
whatnot. But if someone tells me something is haram and you shouldn't be doing that, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, look, like, thank you for telling me, but one day I'll make that decision, right? Maybe or maybe
yeah,
not. I just, like I said to you, man, like I'm trying to be better with my religion. I do like it, my Islam. I believe in it. I have a very good, strong faith. Again, I'm not perfect, and praying 5 times a day. Coming to Dubai when I was being honest with you, when I was weighing the pros and cons, like moving from Singapore to coming to Dubai and not go back to London, I was thinking about,
mm,
financial, like I'm going to save money on tax. I'm going to be closer to home because I'm closer to London. I did think like, yeah, food's going to be like food is going to be halal and all that. So I'm going to enjoy that. I didn't actually think that I'm going to get closer to my religion in regards to praying. That didn't come to my
mm,
mind. It wasn't one of the pros. Like I didn't put it on the list. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I've actually have got better to my religion. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I
mm,
feel a little bit guilty that I didn't pull it on the list, but it naturally came to me because
yeah,
I'm walking
yeah,
around and you just heard you're in the mall and you heard the azan and the call to prayer. And I'm like, okay, cool. So for the first six,
yeah,
honestly, bro, I heard a call to prayer and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But I wouldn't pray. I'm not, me being honest, I wouldn't be like, okay, I gotta go do my wudu and then go pray. I'll be like, all right, cool. Now after Ramadan and after 6 months of being here, like naturally it's changed in me a bit. And I'm like,
yeah.
now I'm being better with my prayer. You know what I'm trying to say? Sorry, I'm so sorry, but let me just pick up this call. I think it might be Amazon.
Oh,
They need to pick up. So give me a second,
yeah, yeah,
bro.
sure, sure. Go ahead, go ahead.
Hello? Oh, okay, you're outside, yeah? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm coming. Thank you. Sorry about that. Live on the podcast. Let
Yeah,
me just quickly go deal
yeah,
with this
sure, sure.
thing, Amazon return thing. Give me a second, bro.
Okay, sure,
Feel
sure.
free
Right.
to talk to the audience, like express yourself about something. I'll be back in a
Ah,
second.
okay. All right. uh, I don't know what to say. Um, anyone following me on Instagram, just look through my work and maybe like it a bit. It's petty to look at numbers, but I kind of appreciate everyone who likes to even look at it. So thank you for everyone, and I hope he comes back soon. Oh, let me show you a bit of this book. Uh, yeah, this. If anyone was wondering about street art, all right, I
Sorry
was
about
talking
that.
about like a bit of street art. Look at this fashion drawings on like Tokyo fashion, I guess. I'm not sure who's the artist, but yeah, these kind of small little things that I was talking about, like it's just fashion drawn really beautifully,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just showing to the audience.
But it's amazing that you like. And thanks for keeping people entertained. Sorry about that. I didn't hear the
Yeah,
doorbell.
it's a is that
But
one
it's
of your
amazing that
statues?
you saw this fashion in Japan and you can appreciate it, even though it's not your fashion or whatnot. And if you went to a different
Yeah,
culture, like some random place, like I don't know,
yeah, it'd be
South America or
very
Africa,
different.
yeah, it'll be a very different thing, and maybe you appreciate that.
Yeah,
Real quick, but just going back to what I was talking about with the religion and stuff. There's a guy
yeah.
trying to get on the podcast. He's a his name his nickname is the Muslim boxer. His name is Mushin something. I should really
Yeah,
know
I
his
saw
real name.
your post on that. Yeah,
Yeah, so he does something which I appreciate, but he gets a lot of criticism again by the haram police. But he's very passionate and unapologetic Muslim in the sense that he loves his religion, he expresses it, but he does this thing where he takes old school music, right, be it hip hop or whatever, and he converts it into so you got like a Biggie tune or whatnot, but he converts the lyrics into the words of Islam. So like one of Biggie's tunes
Oh,
is like what is it? I can't remember the name of the tune, but the 10 Commandments of selling dope, right? Which
oh
is
yeah, yeah,
Biggie selling, selling dope and whatnot.
yeah,
He would change it into the 10 Commandments of the religion. So it's the same music, it's the same theme and everything like that. But even instead of talking about dope, he's talking about Islam or the religion or whatnot. And I love listening to it because I'm like, first of all, like it's very creative and everything, but you're expressing and Islam and the religion to the world out there in your way.
yeah,
Now it's through music, it's through hip hop, it's through whatever it is. So he's getting a lot of criticism in it, and he calls them the haram police. And I'm like, you know what? Why you're doing a beautiful,
yeah,
in my opinion, you're spreading the
yeah,
word of Islam in your way, right?
yeah,
And then you got people criticizing and whatnot. It's just kind of like, well, like at least he's doing something. He's using his platform to spread
yeah,
the word.
yeah,
What are you doing now? If it is haram, cool. Like he's made that decision and he would have that conversation with God. But I believe, obviously Allah is very forgiving. Allah will forgive him for that, but
yeah,
also Allah would appreciate the fact that you spreaded the word that I've been trying to give. You know
yeah.
what I mean? In your own way.
He has like goodness in his heart. I think that that should be a value of how you go about things. And if you want to judge people, I don't know if God want to judge him like that or anyway, but I guess if you have goodness in your heart, that would should mean something, right? Like your intentions and what you really feel about it. So I
Exactly.
think yeah, I know how people like gets very um I I I mean they're trying to tell you this shouldn't be like that. I kind of understand, but I think people should open up more a bit more to just pure human connections to it.
Definitely. And I think like
Yeah,
also like if you're telling, are you telling like some people might be telling you to get points, like, oh, if
right.
you know what I mean? Like if I tell this person that, then I'm gonna get an extra point to go to heaven or whatever. If you're telling that a
Yeah,
love, like your mother would or your father would, I think it's a different sort of thing. But if you're
yeah,
telling it to try and get points, then really like your intentions are not pure either. But if you're
yeah,
telling it out of general love, then I think it's a different sort of thing. And end of the day, yeah, people can open their mind. They don't just accept us as individuals, and we
yeah,
we grow. But maybe not like not like for me. Like I said, I'm trying to be very good with my prayers now after 38 years of my life. You know, what I'm trying to say like I don't know if I'm going to
same
be
here.
good. I'm doing better. Like since Ramadan this year, right? 2023
Yeah,
Ramadan, I've been praying 5 times a day and I'm carrying it on. Ramadan ended what 3 weeks ago. I'm still doing good.
yeah,
That's only 3 weeks. I don't know what's gonna happen in a couple of weeks, but I'm challenging myself to be better after 38 years. God knows what will happen in another 10 years. And that's all of us. We all might, again, might get closer and do certain things, like be it prayer or read Quran, or well, maybe not, but that's our journey, you know what I mean? And that's the way, life's gonna take us. So be it, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Eid Mubarak to you.
Yes, yeah,
Forgot
yeah.
about
Eid
that.
Mubarak, but yeah. Yeah.
And
Did
you
you
know,
like do you like try to fast and stuff during Ramadan? And do you like if you do you like train during Ramadan? How did that all go for
I,
you?
I actually like training during Ramadan. I like
Yeah,
training while fasting actually. It's kind of I guess people say you feel sluggish, but I've never felt that way. I felt a bit more cleaner, a bit more lighter, and I've never felt out of I mean the energy level maybe goes down a bit, but it doesn't really affect me that much. It's only timing because you need to eat and we go for the night prayers, but sometimes you can't sometimes I skip here and there to go to training. Maybe the schedule is a bit of a problem, especially I train closer to maybe the evening, closer to when we break our fast. So I like to train first before I break my fast. So it might be I maybe I break my fast a bit too late, like maybe 8 class or 9 class here, when about 7:15 is like where Maghrib is.
Mm.
So yeah, I may be going things a bit like, you should break fast at a certain time and go for your prayers, but sometimes I kind of the schedule is a bit too difficult for me. I
Yeah.
guess, but training wise, physically, I've never really had a problem with that.
Same
It,
here.
this yeah yeah this month is a bit different because I was a bit busy. There's some jobs I need to do, and I've been going through some stuff as well, and I haven't been training much. Even now, maybe I'm taking a bit of break. Maybe I'll go down once in a while, but not how I used to it. But it's been a good Ramadan for me, actually.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, same
Yeah,
here. As soon as my first Ramadan in Dubai, and I like training during while I'm fasting as well. Everyone keeps saying, "How can you do
yeah,
it?" You can do it. Like you just think you
yeah.
can't do it because
It's
you've never
not
done it. You know,
it's not a
honestly,
problem.
Eddie helped like make me believe that I could do it because I was one of those people
Yeah,
too. Oh, I'm just gonna train after I break fast. I'll go for an evening one or evening class or whatever. But
yeah,
the MMA class on a Saturday was what 5 p.m. We break fast at 7,
yeah,
right? So it was kind of like,
yeah,
can I do MMA and wrestling and then break fast? It's gonna kill me, right? But then
yeah,
Eddie kind of gave me the inspiration to do it, and I realized like I could do Eddie's MMA class and wrestling class while I'm fasted. I could do anything. Fuck, I could train because
yeah.
those classes are the worst classes ever. So yeah, when I during my Ramadan here, I would do the same thing. I would start training around 5 o'clock. I'll do some strength and conditioning and stuff, and then I'll do the wrestling class here.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't feel an ounce of like I don't have energy, I don't have strength, I'm gonna dehydrate, nothing. The one thing I love about here, I do have to say that's again that's helping me towards my religion a little bit is all the coaches, they're Muslim as well. So
yeah,
during in general, not just Ramadan, but just during training at 6 o'clock class, be it wrestling, MMA, whatever, when it's Maghrib time, the coaches stop. So they give everyone a drill, like do this technique, blah, blah, blah. They go and pray like while the students do the drill. Now I can go pray with them, and if you're not Muslim, whatever, you carry on with the drill, and they stop the
yeah.
class and do prayer, and I love that, man. So I join them. So
Wow.
even during iftar, same thing, man. We'll train hard, we'll do the wrestling or whatever, then we'll stop, we'll do iftar together, we'll pray, and then if there's time left, we'll
Yeah,
finish off the class with be it like quick sparring, like we got 3 minutes left, guys, quick spar, like whatever. And
yeah.
it
With all
helped
the
me.
food in your stomach.
Yeah, this inspired me so much. I mean, well, we just
Yeah.
have a couple of dates and whatnot,
All
but
right.
that's inspired me. Like, don't get me wrong, I've trained martial arts for a long time now, and there's always a brotherhood, a familyhood in martial arts.
Yeah,
So I've always felt that with be it Evolve or Hong Kong and whatnot. But here, there's a little bit of a difference just because of that Islam element to it as well. And it's
yeah.
inspired me as well. So I'm like, okay, So what I started doing my wudu before training, and I'll bring longer shorts in a separate bag. So when it is time for prayer, I'll quickly wipe the sweat off me, put my longer shorts on, and just pray with them. And I'm like, that's not
Mm.
something I never ever thought about before in training at Evolve or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's just because the environment's a bit different. But I do love that. I
yeah.
have to say, I love it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't know you. I mean, I kind of understand. I mean, the where you are, things are more catered towards that. I think it's kind of it's nice to have that. Even as much as I'm not complaining about my new job or anything. I just a new job where I'm still about 3 months in. I still need to get used to it. What I appreciate is they have a dedicated room, a surau room. Like normally, places like this, you gotta hide somewhere in the staircase or some weird corner to do it. But they give a room, a proper room with I mean a locked room. Like you need a staff pass to get in. Everything is clean. You have carpets and all that. It's quite huge. So yeah, small little things like that. I kind of appreciate. I know I'm not the most religious person, but I appreciate these small little things
Yeah,
that is
definitely.
provided for people. Yeah,
Definitely. And again, I'm not religious. I'm not the most religious either, but like, think I'm changing a little bit. I'm not saying I'm gonna be I'm super religious still. But I'm changing a little bit. I'm also being
yeah,
people inspire me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, people like, yeah, of course we should be inspired by religion and the Prophet, may he rest in peace, and whatnot. But real life figures like Muhammad Ali and Khabib and even this Muslim boxer and whatnot, like, they inspire me to not be afraid to be Muslim. Like, I don't get me wrong,
yeah,
like when I was in the UK, Hong Kong, Singapore, I
yeah,
wasn't afraid, but maybe I wouldn't express it as much, or maybe I wouldn't say,
yeah,
"Hey
yeah,
guys, I'm gonna go pray, so I'll come meet you." I wouldn't do that, I would just
yeah,
hold it inside. Where now I see these guys, and I'm like, I should be unapologetically Muslim as well. Like, so if it's prayer
yeah,
time, guys, I'll be back. I'm just gonna quickly do my prayers. I'll be back in a bit. But I'm getting that now. I'm trying to say, like,
yeah,
I guess it's an evolution in myself, and I'm getting it now. Like, I met a friend for iftar the other day. He's not Muslim. I've known him for the longest time from UK. We met in the UK and whatnot. He loves to drink and all this sort of haram and whatnot. But he always, when it's Ramadan, it's like, gee, we have to do iftar together. And he respects that. But this time when I met him, for the longest time, bro, every time we ever done iftar, I would never say to him, bro, I'm gonna quickly go pray. I'll be back. It's always like, yeah, we do iftar, but I'll pray maybe later, or really, I wouldn't even pray. For the first time, I told him, bro, you know what? We're gonna do iftar. Let me go pray. I'll be back. So I left him alone to go pray. You know what I mean? Like, and even with him, who's
yeah,
someone who's known me for like over 15 years, he's like, oh, gee, like, I've never seen you get up and say you want to go pray. Like, you've always just broke fast with me and we just ate. And I'm like, I
yeah,
know, I'm just trying to be better. You know what I mean? I feel it here a little bit more, and it's just an evolution in myself. So I'm trying
yeah,
to keep it up, man. I really am, and I'm trying to just, like, every time I'm out for dinner and the azan goes off, I'm like, okay, prioritize it, go. But I know in my head there's this battle that I'm trying to. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but it's a battle. End of the day, some people might be like, "Oh, it shouldn't be. You should just go pray." I'm like, I get that. I'm trying to get to that place where
yeah, yeah,
there's no feeling. There's like, oh, it's prayer time. Let's go. Like, I'm trying to get to that. So I'm trying to keep myself
yeah,
disciplined, right? Because in a sense, it's a form of discipline, and it's got nothing to do with my belief, my faith. People might say, oh, maybe you're just
mm,
not devoted as much. I am. In my heart, I know I am. So no one can tell me shit.
yeah,
I just I just know that I'm involving as a
yeah,
person. You know what I mean? In regards to my religion, it's
yeah. But and to that point, um, I I don't mind. I mean, I don't care what religion a person is, especially. I mean, um, I just care about what a person is inside or their intentions are. If they have a good of heart and they are decent human beings, and I respect people fully. Because even, I part of my struggle is I know someone who I didn't expect. I mean, I kind of know that person is something like that, and I get to know he's not a he has a badness in his heart. Uh, I think he's to me is pure evil. I know him, and I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but he just he uh, he's I don't care about the person's religion, but if you are a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, irredeemable maybe, then you don't deserve respect. So always struggled with religion, but now I kind of understand what it is about being a good person. Maybe you need to follow a certain doctrine, or maybe not. If the person is you don't grow up with that, that's fine, as long you're a decent human being. So yeah, I don't know why I need to bring it up. So as long as
mm,
people are good, you're good. Even your friend, like you said, you go iftar together. he understands what you're going through. He doesn't care about your religion or anything like that. He knows that's part of who you are, what's good in your heart. So yeah, I appreciate people like that around me. So I'm trying to keep people that I trust more now, like closer to me, and maybe just uh keep the loved ones closer, and try to get people I trust, and the ones that I see that's really good in their hearts, or at least decent human beings closer to me. I guess that's what I'm struggling with a bit.
Mm.
So yeah, part of it is, yeah, religion too. Like, I'm trying to be better. I'm not trying the best, but slowly I'm getting there. Maybe
Yeah, you
one
everyone
day.
finds their own
Yeah,
way. Listen, I 100% agree with you, bro, about as long as you're a good human being and you're not hurting other people, you could be whatever the hell you want. Religion, gay, lesbian, whatever. I don't care. Like, as long as you're a good human
yeah,
being, I'm cool with you. I respect you. I might
yeah,
not agree with you, but or believe in what you believe in, and I don't expect you to believe in what I believe in. But as long as we're
yeah,
good human beings, we can respect each other as individuals. And I agree.
yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
in my life, because I was thinking about the other day, because all these random thoughts come into my head, and I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about this, and I was like, listen, you know what, right? Like, I'm in a place now where I'm 38, I'm in Dubai, I'm trying to get close to my religion, I'm taking like a step up, if that makes sense. But all of this,
Mm.
right? Honestly, all of this, like, was with the help of non-Muslims, like atheists, like the
Yeah.
guys I've worked with. Like, for what I'm saying is, like, the guys I've worked with in my company, my management and team and whatnot, the ones who brought me to Hong Kong, they're not Muslim and whatnot. My friend, I don't know if they're not Muslims and they don't believe in none of that sort of stuff. The guys who brought me to
Yeah.
Hong Kong and gave me that opportunity, they're not Muslims. They liked me as an individual. They respected me as an individual and became
Mm.
friends and whatnot. And that Hong Kong led to Singapore, that led to Dubai. And if you think about it, it's a chain reaction. I'm not saying that they are
Yeah.
the key person that helped me get here, but they were a part of it. And
Yeah.
now I'm thinking all spiritually. I'm like, well, Allah put this non-believing atheist, whoever, in my life because Allah knew that ultimately it would lead me to this point now where I'm trying to get better with
Yeah.
my religion. You know what I mean? So that's why I was, like I said, if I had a mentality, it was like, oh, you're a non-believer, I'm not going to be your friend. I might not be here now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I might not be
Yeah.
here now and being a bit more spiritual and being better with my prayer. I wouldn't be. Maybe I'll be in the UK still, and maybe I wouldn't be religious, or I'll be in the shit or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So, like I say, like
Yeah.
when I look back at my life and I think about where I am now, I'm like, well, of course, religion has been a big part of it and whatnot, but the individuals who've been a part of it, like, not all of them were Muslim or whatnot. And that's what makes me love,
Mm.
again, good human beings, whether they're Muslim or not. Just
Yeah.
appreciate them for who they are. And that it's a part of our religion too. I mean, I've had conversation with certain people, I won't name names or whatnot, where they want to disrespect people who are not Muslim or not
Yeah.
believers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro,
That's yeah.
I can't listen to you. I can't. You and your mentality actually could push me away from Islam, and that's not the
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
or not just me, other people away from Islam.
Yeah.
Like my wife,
Yeah.
for example, like she wasn't Muslim when I met her. And if I had the
Oh.
mentality of like, oh, you're not Muslim, I can't talk to you, I can't, whatever, then bro, like I would never have been with her. And alhamdulillah, she took her shahada and she reverted back to Islam. And she's learning now. She's still learning and whatever.
Mm.
But if I had the mentality of like, oh, you're not Muslim, I can't talk to you, I can't even see you or what.
Yeah. You're pushing people away, good people
Exactly.
away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, pushing good people
Yeah.
away. And if I was just open-minded, which I believe Islam is to be
Mm.
open-minded and respect people for who they are, as long as they're good people.
Yeah.
You bring in people to Islam, or maybe not, but you're showing them that okay, Islam is a beautiful thing and it's an accepting thing. But doing the opposite really makes people, and the stereotype of what Muslims get based on the media and shit, you're emphasizing that more to people who think that's true. Like we
Yeah.
have to lead by, each and every one of us have to lead by example, I think.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, we get sort of a bad light in the news and all that. But we shouldn't, push back like that violently or through violence or anything. Everyone, once again, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim or not. If everyone's just be a good person, you don't need to be like the best, perfect person. At least you don't hurt anyone. You try to protect each other, just show some love and things will be better. Like you see things in the news and the world, the state of the world, even my close friends, people got hurt and all that. I just wish people are not I mean I just wish people have that basic human decency, and I think religion helps that. But if you don't have that structure, then it's okay. At least your basic human instinct is to help each other and respect. And I really believe that's instinctual to everyone, as a tribe, as a
Mm.
human race. Yeah, I'm speaking as a whole. So yeah, I've always been struggling with uh my religion because you know um I for the longest time I always had this, people telling me negative things like if you do this you get punished, or you don't do this, a lot of don'ts, you know
Mm.
but lately I've been listening to more of people who are like, it would be good if you do this, you know um more of like a positive guidance. So I think that's what I need. What I think that's what everyone needs right now. Like, instead of negative reinforcements.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, the, I guess that's what I'm coming from with religion. I've been trying to do better, but I appreciate that you've grown like this,
Yeah, and
and
everyone will. And
yeah,
even though I've grown, I would never push it on anyone, not even my brothers or nothing like, I'm trying to say? It's like they will
yeah,
find, I know I'm finding my way. I'm still working on it. They will find
yeah,
their way too. But it's like I heard something like a couple things like what you were talking about. Like one, I've heard like scholars, and I agree with this so much. Like in regards to religion and my religion specifically Islam, like Islam is perfect but Muslims are not. Like you have to like
yeah,
remember that, but the religion's perfect but the individuals are not, and that goes for everyone, right? People, individuals are not great, but the culture or
yeah,
the religion or whatever can be perfect. Like I like Japan, you went there, the nicest fucking
yeah.
people I've ever met in my life. Like they're
Oh, yeah,
so nice,
yeah,
right? But of
yeah,
course you're gonna get bad apples even in Japan. It's good as that's the way human nature is. But the other
yeah,
thing I heard, like I heard someone say, and I agree with, is like, Khabib, for example, right? He a lot of the Muslims follow him and they love what he did. But what he does, MMA and punching people in the face, that's haram. So are
yeah,
you gonna be like, oh, I don't support him because he's haram, he punches people in the face? Or are you gonna be like, well, look, that part of him I don't agree with, but everything else, of course I agree. Like
yeah,
you can't disrespect or discourage everything else just because of one thing. So that's the same thing with me and you and whatnot. Like I have this
mm,
statue. Are you gonna say I'm haram and you're not gonna like me just because of this? Or are you gonna be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I brother, I don't agree with you having these things, but everything else, yeah, you're cool. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You can't, like, everyone's not perfect no matter what. No, and as I've been reading a bit more in the Quran and Islamic books and whatnot, again, what I'm learning and whatnot, and I could be wrong. So someone's gonna scold me for this, but Allah's not looking for perfection. He's just looking for you to be better. He's giving you the guidelines and whatnot. He's giving us the freedom of choice, right? Which is one of the most important things he's given us. And how you use that and how you slowly try to get better and better and perfect yourself is something that he appreciates. And
mm,
also, Allah's very forgiving, right? So I think there's some sins that you can't be forgiven, but there's sins are not they can be forgiven. And again, people shouldn't exploit that. Intentions are not like, oh, I'm gonna go do something haram because I'm gonna be forgiven. That's not
yeah,
the
yeah,
intention. But
no,
there's a lot of forgiveness and there's a lot of openness, man. I feel like even when you hear stories about the prophet and whatnot, you realize like he was a very open man. Like it wasn't just you're haram, you're going to hell. You're haram, you're going to hell. You're haram. Like there's a lot of openness to him as an individual. He communicated with non-Muslims and all that sort of stuff as well. So I'm like, like I don't know. It's my journey. I'm going through my journey, my thoughts. You're going through your journey, your thoughts. Everyone is, and I don't blame people for telling me something that's haram or whatnot. I just don't like it when you disrespect people who are not Muslim, who don't
Yeah.
believe. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the type of guys I'm like, I can't listen to you because you're putting me
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one of the things that I couldn't get. Like, I couldn't understand why people, they're non-believers, they're gonna straight to hell. Like, I'm like, but there are so many people in the world who doesn't even know anything about it, and they're still good people, but they're not brought up that way. So, the best we can do is, support each other, and, like, just show some love. That's it. you know it's
Yeah,
not,
I mean,
I mean,
brother,
it's not a, yeah. Yeah, you go ahead, sorry.
no, sorry to cut you. I was gonna say, like, within our religion, the five pillars, like one of them is like charity and stuff like that, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like so many non-Muslims who might not follow all the other five pillars, and cool, that's on them, but
Yeah.
they would do something amazing as charity. Like
Yeah.
you think God won't recognize that? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so and helping people and loving people, loving your neighbor, be it there. Like you think Allah doesn't recognize that? You just like I agree with you, like I again, in my opinion, like if you're not Muslim but you're doing good things, cool. Like I
Yeah.
will respect you and love you and all that sort of stuff. And Allah will see all that stuff too. I don't buy into that. Oh, they're going to hell and you don't need to know them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
associate with them. And it's like, nah, I think
Yeah.
that's just the
Yeah.
wrong way. That's what separates people. That's what makes people think that, you know, I had bad thoughts about Islam. We
Yeah.
need to be
Right.
accepting to show people like, oh, these Muslims are accepting. They love us. Like they don't believe in what we believe in, but they still accept us as human beings, and
Yeah.
they still want to live with us as communities and whatnot. That's what's important out there.
Yeah. 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 I mean, to wrap up this, we go on this, about religion. Like, I just hope. I don't know. I've been going through some stuff. I just, the best thing we can do is surround people who loves us and we love them. So, um, you know, it it's just human beings being good people, and there's bad people. So, like, um, the community as a whole, like human race, or even small little basic things like gym or whatever. If there's like bad people in somewhere, then you I don't know how to deal with them, but the best thing we can do is just to support each other, those you trust and those you love. So yeah, that's what I gotta say.
Definitely, man. Well,
Yeah.
it's a good way to end this. I mean, we've been talking for over 2.5 hours, which
Oh,
has
is
been
it
great.
that?
It's been it's been
Oh
like,
man. Yeah.
yeah, nearly 2 hours, 42 minutes.
Nearly three. Oh,
Yeah, we've been going on for long.
okay.
It's a good way to end it, man. Bro, like,
Yeah.
again, it's great to connect with you and
Yeah,
talk.
you
Like I
too.
said, like we didn't talk this much when we were in Singapore, but I'm glad that we are talking
Yeah.
this much and be able to communicate and just geek out
Yeah.
about stuff that we enjoy and love, and just connect in different ways. And definitely let's do it again for if it is a Marvel movie trend or comic book movie trend that gives us an excuse to talk, let's do it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
And
just an excuse for us
I'm
to
up
communicate.
to anything. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Well, look, thank
Yeah.
you again for your time, and thank you for
Yeah.
your thoughts about the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what we connected on
Ah,
this one about. And
yeah.
shit, man. And for the users, listeners, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Do like and subscribe. Boy, what's your Instagram handle? It's gonna be in the description, but what is it for
Oh
people to
man, I don't.
follow?
I guess it's ideal, but it's spelled AIDEEL 42.
All
Mm.
right, people check that
AID,
out.
yeah, AIDEEL 42.
All right, I'll put it in the description,
Yeah.
but people check it out. Do follow those. amazing artwork and his journey and everything. But again, Adil, thank you so much for the time, brother. Hopefully,
Thank you for
if you do
having me.
decide to go training, say hello to everyone for me. We'll catch up
Oh
soon.
yeah. All right. See you. I'm really appreciate. I mean, I know I said it again, like this helps me process everything. Somebody talk to about this. So, I know we started off with the movies and all that, but thanks for, talking about everything else, like emotional, mental state and religion and all that. It just
Awesome,
helps
man.
me, just process everything.
That's well, thank you,
Right.
man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you feel confident and comfortable talking to me about it as
Yeah.
well, because it helps me to, regardless of if whether I'm going through something or not. It just
Yeah.
the talking is a form of therapy.
Yeah.
But anytime, podcast or not, reach out, man, and we're happy to have these conversations and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Let
you.
me grab a
Yeah.
picture before you go as well.
Oh, wait. Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cool. All right, let me stop this
I
here. All right, was there anything else?
No, that's everything.
All right,
I
well, the
think
users,
we covered everything.
listeners, again, thank you so much. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
cool.